Yeah.
With it.
I'm excited for this one. I'm excited for all of
Yeah,
them. This
we're in there. We're
it's
in
a
there.
different energy this week. I think it's because my back nose is gonna get a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? In a couple of
I
days,
mean,
and
you know what I'm
it's
saying? You're
just
gonna be eating up
excitement.
all the food. I
It's
mean,
just excitement,
I
man.
know
It's
you go. I know
excitement.
you're gonna have about 15 plates.
Nah, you know what? Actually, contrary to popular belief, I'm a big guy, but I'm not a big eater. Like I don't eat a
Yeah,
You
lot
ain't
of
gonna.
food.
You ain't
know
gonna have no honey
small
bun.
people that eat a lot
Nah,
of junk food.
nah,
So it
I
ain't got to
don't.
be the size. The people just the appetite is big or small, regardless of your size.
I
I
eat
mean,
good one time and then that's it. I'm done. It's
yeah,
a wrap for me.
I try not to eat myself in a coma, but since I don't eat that turkey and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? My catfish, you know what I'm saying, gonna be popping. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be straight.
That's another thing, man. People have to understand that it's 2023. You do not have to eat turkey and ham and traditional. You can eat whatever your family decides they want to eat on that day to celebrate. Because, to be honest with you, Thanksgiving is kind of passe, thing of the past. You're
Right.
just celebrating getting together as a
Right.
family, so you can eat whatever the heck you want to eat.
I
Right.
mean, it ain't as lit as it used to be because I don't puff the trees no more. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
you know, it just ain't as lit as it used to be. So you know what I'm saying? I just be like, whatever. It's like another day to me to have off. So
It didn't have to literally be lit. I mean, damn.
I mean, you already know. You already know the slogan. Hey man, we're going to the store. What's up? And then you know what I'm saying. You take off. You know what I'm saying. And that car ride was, you know what I'm saying, to get your little lituation on. You know what I'm
I
saying.
really don't know anything about that life.
Yeah,
I
coming back
mean,
smelling like the finest of greeneries.
it's, yes, sir. Yeah, that was just the life. You know what I'm saying. You know, my lady don't like to smoke. So you know what I'm saying. What can I do? So
Yeah, my cousin used to leave and come back smelling like a pound of cool water. They tried to spray cool water cologne on
Wow.
after they smoked and come back to the family function, but we knew what it
You
was.
always
you
tell
can't
who
get
it was. That was
We knew
always
what
that's
it
right.
was. Yeah.
You can't get rid of the loud smell, not the loud back. Come
no.
on, man.
Nah,
Can't get rid of the
definitely
loud
not.
back. Can't
Definitely
get rid
not.
of that.
All right, y'all.
Y'all know
Y'all
what
know
time.
what we here. Y'all know what we here for. What we here
We
for this
here.
episode. You know what I'm saying? It's 145. We here for we us versus them. You know, talking about the competition.
Mhm.
We do these sports episodes every so often, and it's smack dab in the middle of a whole bunch of sports. So we had to catch you up before we go on this little Thanksgiving,
Right.
holiday thing. So we had to hit y'all with, you know what I'm saying? So the us versus them, the Fire
Right.
Sports
Right.
Edition,
Right.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So we're in the middle of football season, the beginning of basketball season.
Yep,
We
yep.
got a
Uh,
lot to we got a lot to talk about. You know what
a
I'm
lot of
saying?
college football, a lot
College
of
football and
yeah.
coming to that point in the year when everybody gets excited because you want to see the bowl games, you want to see who ends up, you know what I'm saying, in the college football playoffs.
Right.
Playoffs.
Playoff.
So, of course, we gotta talk about prime time. You know what I'm
We got
saying?
to. We got
Dion.
to.
Yeah.
The dust has settled, huh?
Whew. Yeah, man, we got to talk about it. We got Angel Reese on the docket. We got to talk about that a little bit because that's
Yeah, yeah, okay.
that's a
Okay.
little different situation.
Get them grades up, girl.
I mean, that's what
So
they said, but we will get into it.
so we
Yeah.
got we got the NFL, the NBA. So y'all lock in and rock with us and hop in the comments because you know what I'm saying it's gonna be a wild ride. We're gonna say some stuff that you might feel some type of way about, but it's okay.
It's all
You can
right.
get in
That's
the,
what
you
we're
can get
here
in the
for.
comments. Yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
before
get
we
in there.
get
Let's talk about it.
facts. So before we get started, we gotta check on our people. We gotta check on the lady of the house first, Trisha Michelle. How
Go
are
ahead.
you? How's your week started off so far?
It's great because it's a short work week. We love a holiday work week. We love it.
Facts.
So, I'm already off for the week and until the next week and I like that. So we good. We chilling. We just glide through the rest of the week now. So I get to stay up late, probably have a little drink after this. I'm feeling great, you know?
A
Are
little, a
you
little, a
cooking?
little drink.
Are you cooking?
I'm cooking.
You cooking?
Yeah, I cooked last year and I cooked the year before
Well,
that.
hold
Like
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
I
What
don't
you
move around in
cook?
this kitchen.
What you cooking? First of all, we
Actually
we
this
we
year.
know you can burn. That ain't no issue.
No, no, no,
You
no.
gotta understand. Everybody on this show is multi-talented. We you know what I'm saying. We solid.
You saying it in
The
a good way.
question is what are you cooking?
So since I'm gonna be around a lot of turkey, I'm not making turkey. I'm making Cornish hens. I was gonna do turkey wings, but you can't find them nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some Cornish hens, some greens, some mac, some yams, just the normal
The
little
normal
things.
stuff.
Because I want to, although we're gonna go to other places, I want to have it here. So when I come back, I want my house
Okay. All
to be
right.
full still.
Right.
So that's
Are
really
you
cool.
are you
Oh,
stuffing the Cornish hens though?
sweet
Are you
potato pie. I haven't decided because I really just like my juicy, really juicy Cornish hens. So I don't, and they don't really fool with the stuffing like that. So you know.
all right? All right. I ain't mad at you. Go and get your burn on. Have the house smelling good and everything. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, got to.
Yeah.
And I got Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I'm really just gonna be eating all day, every day. I'm having a salad on Friday. I love salad. I really love salad. Like I
Okay.
go out and order salads. I'm gonna send y'all
Uh, uh,
some dishes. See,
all
y'all play
right.
with me. Watch out for that. You can get you one of these.
All
Man,
right.
me and salads have a love-hate relationship because the ones I get out these little stoves, I can't pull up on. Now, if I'm making my own, I'm rocking with it.
Well, yeah. So certain restaurants, I will get one, but majority of them, I make it. Like I have to have it, my certain stuff on it, and just
Right.
yeah.
Because I can't do no iceberg lettuce since it's not me.
Yeah, you got to put the goods in there, all the different
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
All right. I see
Yeah,
you going on with your cooking
All
self.
right. So Trisha gonna be cooking and making it happen. Benji Banks, the man, the brand. How's your week started off, my guy? And I know you cooking.
You know
that's
what? I am, but I'm going a totally different route this year. The family wants fried turkey.
Mm.
So we're gonna get turkey seasoned up, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna baste them, you know what I'm saying, a little bit, inject them a little bit with some, garlic butter, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna even eat none of it because I don't eat turkey. But I'm gonna deep fry that joint. I'm gonna make it happen, and I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna do my I'm gonna fry me some catfish. The fillet, the whole thing. Fillet that up, and I'm gonna make some soul cupcakes. So
oh, you did say that. You did
yeah,
say
we're gonna make the you know what I'm saying, we're gonna take the mac and cheese, the cornbread, I mean, and the greens and the yam, and we're gonna put it in a cupcake. You get what I'm saying? In the cornbread, and we're gonna
Hmm.
bake that joint like that.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So, and then, we're gonna, get our little mashed potato, and we're gonna put a little bit on the top. We're gonna sprinkle a little gravy on top of that joint, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna indulge. And that's
it's
gonna be
the
that's
whole
gonna be
bite
my
in
thing.
one, or one
Okay.
in one.
Yes. So
So
that you
you
can just kind of nibble and
I think
eat.
Ken has the same questions I got. Go ahead.
well,
Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say you got to post a picture of that, my
Oh
guy,
yeah, no
because
doubt.
Oh,
I've
No
okay.
never
doubt.
seen that
No,
before. So you got to
No
post
doubt.
a picture
I
of
got
that.
questions.
No
So
doubt.
some of my
Yeah.
people, when I seen you post that as what you was cooking, they was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, like all of that mixed together." So haven't
Yeah.
tried it?
Well, okay, so this is like at the end of your plate, like I know some people don't like all their food touching together, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the plate, if you got a little bit of everything right there, you know what I'm saying? You just kind of put it all together on your spoon or whatever, and then you just eat it, right? So the idea, I like that idea. You know what I'm saying? Boom, all the flavors you get, because I like mixing all the flavors together.
Because you
So
don't
I
mind.
was
Okay.
like, right, you get what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, let me just check this idea out. And you know what it really reminded me of? Well, it reminded me of like a tamale pie. So that's really kind of the same concept. It's just I'm gonna use the cupcakes
Interesting.
or the cornbread in the cupcake little thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boom, layer. And when you bite into that joint, you're gonna get a layer of all of that together. You know what I'm saying? So just trying to keep it creative for Thanksgiving because we've been doing this for like forever, and I can't lie, it's kind of boring. You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
that's content, right? TikTok. That's they go crazy over the little trendy little things, and everybody likes to try to attempt those cupcakes.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
you get a little content out of it, make a nice little TikTok, and it might just end up going crazy if you got the views looking right with the camera angles and
you already know. I'm taking the social media phone with me. I already got this in plan, and you know
All
what I'm
right.
saying. We go.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna let you know if it's some content out there. I'm be like, look, that's content. You better get with
yeah,
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, we with it. So that's it. As we're just getting prepared for the week, work and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Letting folks get on my nerves. Letting my baby boy had his birthday. So just all types of stuff. So
Shout out to young Joe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, little fella. Little fella. All right. So we want to give a shout out real quick to some of the people who've already tapped in. Want to make sure we
Hey.
recognize these people. We got Hassan Tahir. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. He said, how are you guys doing? And that's what we're doing at this point of the show. At the beginning, we checking in, we making sure everybody good. We got Swish for Real basketball checking in. Swish for Real is another podcast of a partner of mine that I'm on here and there, and that's where I talk a lot of sports as well. Very interesting dynamic that he has on the show where he gives us topics and we have to give our opinion. And it gets heated sometimes.
right,
It gets heated sometimes when you talk about sports, but I enjoy that platform as well. So shout out to him, my guy Mike. Shout out to Brian Ellison, you know what I'm saying, checking in, always tapping in with us, and
right.
Jody Skywalker Unhinged podcast in the building as well. Y'all already know what your boy doing, right? Every year I'm tasked with smoking a ham,
Mm-hmm.
right? For the fam, and that's what I do. I smoke. That's what Big Ken brings. I smoke the ham, and I come in and I try to do it right before we gotta eat, so it comes straight off the smoker. Wrap it in the foil, and
Fire.
when it gets to the spot wherever we going, and they take that foil off, that smoke hit them, and that smoke flavor is there. The honey glaze is still dripping off of that thing, and it's moist and it's ready to go. See, I
Now let
perfected
me
it.
now let me ask you a question. Do you use like Coca-Cola pouring over it, or how do you smoke your ham?
Nah, I got a rub. I got all my secret
Okay.
ingredients that I
All
that
right.
I
All
that I
right.
whip out. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to my cousins,
And
man.
he does
Yeah, I might not can't cook some of the other stuff Benji cooks, but when it comes to smoking meats, I've gotten pretty good at it. So
All right.
that's my
All
thing.
right.
That's what I
All
do.
right.
I stay in my wheelhouse of
All
smoking
right.
meats. That's what I do.
You know what I'm
So okay,
saying? I dig it.
yeah,
I dig it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to getting that plate and making light work of it, and then relaxing the rest of the day, man. So looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna jump into these sports today. I told my people, man, we got to talk about this first, man. It's concepts. We're gonna talk about basic stuff right off the rip.
Right.
Team sports schedules, right? Being that I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, proud. I'm a Dallas native, so being anything else would be crazy for me, right? And whoever you support, we rock it. Benji's a
Right.
49ers guy. Trisha Michelle rocking with her Eagles. I'm rocking with it. Do you? But y'all have to understand, y'all got to quit this narrative of somebody getting an easy schedule. There is
I
no
mean,
such thing in professional sports as an easy schedule.
I
It's,
mean,
it's professional sports.
all the games are tough. It's pro sports, right? But
Facts.
I mean, the NFL and whatever NFL, they just kind of rank. If your team was bad last year, they're gonna add them to your because they want parity, like throughout. They want you to play all over the place.
Right.
So, but I mean, my 49ers lost to like who was that? The Cleveland Browns, and nobody expected the Cleveland Browns to like get that W. You know what I'm saying? You get fooled by that idea that this is an easy game and you go in there, them dudes trying to eat, they feeding their families. Like,
We lost to Arizona, dude. Do you think
right.
that anybody had that penciled in on their schedule,
No,
on
I
their
didn't.
predictions?
I'm not
Nobody.
even gonna lie to you. That loss, I was like,
Nobody.
Like how?
y'all
Like,
out here whooping. And then
right,
came and I was like, huh? Like,
Every
what?
year teams get different schedules every
Exactly.
right,
single year, right? So you have some years, like Benji said, you have some years where you might have to play more teams in the NFC East or the NFC West or whatever. If it's outside of your division, however the way they do it, they base it on your prior year success or failure.
Right.
Therefore, it switches up every now and again, right?
right,
So nobody's gonna have the same schedule all the time. You're gonna have different opponents, every year. So that narrative of an easy schedule for any competition, you know what I'm saying? Like shout out to South Oak Cliff here in Dallas, Texas. That high school, they've been dominant the past few years, and people talk about how their regular season schedule is so easy for them because it's a lot of inner city schools, and a lot of these inner city schools, in all areas are not that great. The suburb schools are the better schools for
Right.
sports now.
Right.
So they go through these seasons, but when they hit the playoffs, what they do is the what we would consider the preseason games or before the district games start, they schedule the hardest teams. They
Mhm.
schedule teams like a Duncanville or a DeSoto who are nationally ranked, and they play against those teams and they lose, right?
Right.
But the fact of the matter is they get better doing those games because these are some of the most difficult games they're going to play.
Right.
So no matter who you're playing against, as long as your coaching staff is good and as long as you
Yeah, you're
have
gonna
the
be
correct
straight.
players, when you get to the playoffs, you know how to adjust. You know how to do what you need to do. So that narrative of somebody having an easy schedule, folks, we got to understand, especially at the professional level.
At the
Everybody's a
professional
pro.
level, man, right. Everybody's a
Everybody's a
pro.
pro.
And at the end of the day, them dudes still trying to feed their family and get that next contract, and that's just kind of how it is. So I never believed in the easy schedule concept because, like I said, anything can happen. You get what I'm
But you
saying
never
in
know. You
professional
gotta think
sports.
about this. You gotta think about this. At the end of the day, this schedule is out. But these roster changes, no one knows who's going to injure. No one knows who they're going to pick up along the way. This team momentum can go from being good and excellent and kind of sweeping people out, and then going to losing at the whole rest of the whole. So it's really not like they have no way to really predict this. There's no intentional like here's a bunch of easy games so you can get on top. You don't
Right.
know how the season gonna go. But
Def-
it's true. Like you lose some, so you get placed in a little different little bracket. But it's not that they're not really picking all the easy games for people because a lot of people been saying that some of the Dallas games been easy, but nobody knows.
I mean, at the end of the day, really, to be honest, I mean, NFL is about parity. Like they trying to make sure if the Kansas City Chiefs, you ain't played so and so in a while, we want you to play because it brings revenue to the stadium.
Right.
People gonna pull up. Like ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all about that bag for them.
Right.
So
Look how long it's been since the Eagles brought their behinds out here.
right, you know what I'm saying?
Right. We was out here
Like,
this year.
and like people get upset with me because they like, Ken, they always throwing the Cowboys on TV. I'm tired of seeing the Cowboys. Well, stop looking at them. Because every time, because the reason why the NFL parades the Cowboys in front of them,
The
in front of
rating.
everything, because they know people will watch.
Yes, it's ratings.
America's team. That's
Whether
all
you
you
love them,
And Jerry Jones knows that too. He
whether you love
knows
them or
once
hate them,
his
people
team
gonna watch.
pulls up. Yeah.
Right. So, if you don't like them, don't watch them. It's simple.
whether they're
But
watching to see him win or watching to see him lose or whatever, what they're gonna do, they're gonna tune in. And
they
that's
tune
what
it
it's
in.
about you.
Facts.
So,
And don't nobody want to watch the Nuggets and let me see, the Wizards in the NBA finals. Don't nobody want to see that.
You're not gonna see that as long as Jordan Poole's there, but that's another conversation.
You see what my caption is.
look, and y'all got to catch me up because I've been.
Oh no, I didn't see that. That's funny.
I seen it when we first got in here, but I've been a little bit neglecting my NBA, so I'm a little.
Hey, all I can tell you is it's Jordan Poole recently let the ball go all the way up the floor with like 4 minutes left, down 10, and he let the ball roll all the way up the floor like it was, stopping the game clock and the shot, and he picked it up, got mad at the ref, hit a bucket, and thought the clock's supposed to have stopped completely until he picked it up. And they've been laughing at him on social media since.
Yeah, because you're a professional, sir. You don't know that.
I'm laughing because Washington thought they was getting something amazing, and they did my boy Russ wrong when he was there. Right. And you got a guy who's worse than Russ.
Well, ultimately, at the end of the day, they got a trade piece, so somebody gonna trade for him. So
I mean, but who's gonna want Jordan Poole?
Okay, but when we get in the NBA, because then we ain't even there yet, so I ain't even gonna ask all my questions. I got questions, but we'll get there. Are we in there?
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But
that's a touch up. That's a teaser.
Yeah,
that's a teaser to draw attention.
Well, because we just talked about it because that's Benji's caption. So you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see that. That's funny. But okay, so let's start out. with college football.
Yep.
Now, the biggest story, whether you like it or not, whether you're rocking with it or not, and the sexy story of the year has been Colorado, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Whether you're a fan of Dion or not, it's hard to not follow the story, not follow the program, the success or the failure that that they've been experiencing. So let's talk about that for a minute. Trisha Michelle, what are your thoughts on this year for Dion and Colorado Buffalo, year one?
I think year one, he didn't came out and done a lot from what they were used to. From not winning nothing to what did they win the first three, or at least got they wasn't predicted or supposed to win anything.
Mhm.
So I feel like he came in and he already was on top with just that. Now, was he about to take this whole school and turn it around right now and have dominating team and just no? And he probably, he was selling it too. The story, the world started believing it. But no, you gotta get there. You have work to do. You have a team to build. Morale and spirit and family and all this stuff to mold together. You're not going to be there yet. You got some more time to do some more seasons. You got to make that. You got to put the
Right.
time in. So
Yeah.
I don't fault him for not winning the games that he's not winning. I feel like he's coming. He came from got this. He's getting this out the mud with this team, and he still got work to do. And until then, we're gonna see it looking spotty like it's looking right now. And I don't have no fault in him. I still feel like he's a great thing, a great asset, and bringing great things to that team, that school. So I still see growth coming. So and then he is going to be dominating. That's what I think.
Right.
Okay, cool. Benji, talk about
I
it. How you
mean,
feel?
I am upset that he lost the shut-in service game against Stanford. Okay. I thought they should have won that one. And then all he needed was one more game to get in a bowl. I did want to see them in a bowl game this year, but I also think strategically, like protecting Shador was kind of became the main concern because he started to get beat up out there. And I know most people say, let them boys play, let this. But listen, when you got an asset like that and he getting beat down like that because your O-line ain't that good, and for the most part, you've kind of exceeded expectations already throughout the season. You got to start thinking, protect your assets. And I know, no, that don't mean they quit and they this and that. But listen, that's his son, and that's a valuable asset that's about to go to the NFL. You don't just let that get misused. You get what I'm saying? You can't be dumb out there. So, but at the end of the day, like, should they have won against Washington State? Yeah, I thought that was one of the games they won. But me personally, I think they packed it in already because, I mean, at this particular point, they ain't going to no bowl game. Ain't nothing extra about to happen. And let's wrap it up. Let's get to the next year for me because I ain't finna keep letting my star player get beat up behind that wacko line. I'm sorry.
They got work to do, and
Yeah.
especially with that line. Especially with that line.
Oh, that old line. Listen, early in that year, you could see, you know what I'm saying, Shador, he could take that. Because you know what I'm saying, fresh legs, whatever.
Yeah,
But like
now.
because he flashed it, them boys was coming after him.
Oh yeah, they
was
come
hitting.
out there with the chip on their shoulder. They want him.
Yeah. Every game was like a star-studded game. Like everybody was coming. And that's a different animal when everybody coming at you, right? So, I mean, but at the end of the day, he exceeded expectations this year. I had him winning 6 to 7 games. I thought they would get to a bowl game this year.
That's more than the
yeah. Because I thought they should have beat. And I looked at the schedule. I thought maybe one of those games in there, like maybe they could have beat Oregon State. Like I had them winning against Stanford. I thought maybe they could slip in and beat UCLA. And that was like a toss-up maybe game for me. And then again, the Washington State game, I thought they should be able to win that. Especially after they had beat TCU. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and they competed against USC. They competed against some really good teams. And that team ain't even really as solid as we wanted them to be, or we thought. Like they played better than I thought they would play against the USCs, They got mollywopped against Oregon, but they play, they play solid. So I mean, hey, shout out to him. Next year, I expect them to be higher in the rankings, and I expect them to
I
be
sure
a
do.
extra problem next year.
I do.
All right.
I think
All
it's gonna
right.
be
So
hard.
so y'all ready for Big Ken's red rant? You know what I'm saying? I gotta go on
Let's
my
go.
little rant.
We ready?
Okay, so here's my thing. I think to begin with that things were because they beat TCU that first game, the
Hmm.
expectations went through the roof for
Right.
everybody, right? So
Right.
people have these unrealistic expectations for this squad off the rip.
Hmm.
So I think that hurt them more than helped as far as the narrative goes, right? So I call it the Colorado collapse.
Oh, okay.
because currently they're on a 5-game losing streak
Hmm.
with a record of 4-7 overall, 1-7 in the Pac-12, sitting dead last. Their last game coming up is against Utah, and in my
Hmm.
estimation, as you stated earlier, Shadir should not play. I
Exactly.
don't think he should. I don't think he should play at all. Give the
I don't think so
backup
either.
a little tape. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows if he's going to stay there or go in the portal. Give him some tape. You know what I'm saying? So he can have some film. And because they desperately need linemen. They don't just need linemen on the offense. I believe they need linemen on the defense, right?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But like you pointed out, the Oregon game was so brutal because Oregon had a kryptonite for them because Oregon's front four on their defense is so dominating.
Right.
It was a disaster from the beginning. And I told people that before that game, this is
Yeah.
going to be ugly because Oregon's front four is dominant.
Yeah.
and and Colorado has nothing. They don't have that.
They can't stop
I'm
it.
telling you, against Colorado State, Colorado State has a uh
Front
defensive
four.
lineman. That
Right.
defensive end, I forgot it. I think his name Kamara. That
Kamara.
dude
Yes.
is a
Oh
dude,
Yeah.
and he exposed their tackles. He
I
exposed their
agree.
tackles. So
I
from that
agree.
point forward, everybody else looked at that film and was like, okay,
I just know what's
so
up.
now we got a blueprint for what we need to do is we just need to attack those linemen and hit them with blitzes and all kinds of stunts and stuff like this, and they won't be able to block them. And they've been struggling ever since.
Well, I mean, if you listen to the college football people in general, the Warren Sapps of the worlds, whatever, they knew that the D line and the O line would be weak. So we kind of, if you've been watching, you already knew this was going to be an issue. But even though those were still issues, they still competed with some really, really, really good teams. And in football in general, D line in the trenches is where it all starts at. And
Well,
for them to compete like they did this year, I thought that they needed some kudos for that. Not that we're trying to give them brownie points for it, but
well, here's the
they
thing.
did for the solid.
They got great skill position guys, right?
Right, right,
Because people love to point out, well, Dion had these 4 and 5 star guys. He's got a few of them, and they're
right,
really good, right? And they're skill position guys. But we all know from watching football our whole lives, it starts in the trenches.
right,
And I've been trying to explain to people how the portal works, and they think that you can just go on the portal and find all these great linemen. If that was the case, that would have happened.
right.
Been stacked.
There's not a lot of great linemen in the portal. There's a bunch of linemen, but if you to give you the perfect example, look in the NFL. How many bad linemen in the NFL?
A lot.
There's a lot. So finding great linemen is very, very hard. Finding a great wide receiver, not so much. There's a lot of skill
Right,
players out there, right?
right.
So
Running backs, wide receivers,
you can
Yeah.
find all that stuff,
quarterbacks.
right?
You can find that linebackers. You can even find because they basically converting them joints to from safety to linebacker
With the
nowadays.
way today's game is played, yeah. So it's a bunch of interchangeable parts. But also, what you want to point out to with Colorado is they have good defensive backs. You know what I'm saying? Decent,
Right,
for what they have. But again, a lot of people talk about where they got burnt. They got their wide receivers. I mean, their defensive backs are getting burnt. But again, when you have defensive linemen who can't get pressure on the other team's quarterback, your defensive backs are gonna get burnt.
Burnt.
because the quarterback on the other team has all day to throw the ball.
all day.
So somebody's gonna get open. Period. I
Mhm.
don't care
That's
who
it.
you are. I don't care who you are. You can be the greatest defensive back in the world. If you play on a team where your front four or your front three are not getting any pressure on the other team's quarterback, that wide receiver is going to get open at some point. Period.
That's why D linemen and left tackles, right tackles, mainly left tackles, is getting paid almost like quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're getting the premium. They're
They're
getting
getting
a
the
premium.
premium money. They're getting the
They're getting a
premium.
premium because they're that important. So those
Yeah.
are a lot. Dion's team is missing a lot of pieces, and as Trish Michelle pointed out, I think he will definitely improve year after year. But people have to understand this is the first year. This
Right.
is year one,
And that's why
and
we started year one. Like,
Year
I'm like,
one.
what
Year
did y'all
one, and
expect?
he all over the sports networks. They were talking about him like crazy in year one.
This
so
man,
this now is what he's done in year one with an absolute, like I said, he getting out the mud, rebuilding,
6 or 7 years ago, this man was coaching high school football.
yeah,
Now he's
he's supposed
coaching a
he's supposed
D1 a D1 program.
Right.
So, this is the things that he is doing is monumental, and the moves that he is making. And when people start talking about Shador and the flashiness and stuff, this is Dion's son. What do
So do
you
you not
expect?
know who his daddy is?
What do you
Do you not know
expect?
how he played? Like, do you not know what he did? Like,
People
I,
people don't understand, man. People don't get it. They
do
don't
you not
understand
know
that's
what
Prime
he said?
Junior.
It's prime time.
I mean,
Prime
at the
time.
end
What
of the
you better
day,
watch?
it's about entertainment as well. College football, NIL money, these boys want to get paid. So
Right.
if they're entertaining, even if their team is not successful, if they become a name, they know they can
It's
capitalize
some
off of
money.
their name,
Right.
right?
And
They can
people
get
who
these
don't understand
contracts.
social media. Go ahead, Patricia. I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying they can get these contracts on the side and paid and stuff now. They come on now. Be what everybody's paying attention to.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. So the people who don't understand social media are usually the biggest critics. They don't understand how these things work. Like you gotta put it up there. You get what I'm saying? Like,
What everybody else doing. They in the NFL doing it. Like,
right. It's a watch deal, bro. Like I'm trying to get this watch deal right here, right
who don't
quick
want
on
to put their
social
watch
media.
on their wrist right now?
I
Who don't want
mean, and this is because that's the frustrating thing, man. People, a lot of this stuff is common sense, right?
Right.
It's the new norms, as we say, and that's the thing. A lot of people have an old mindset, right? And they're
Right.
thinking, well, traditional this and traditional that. Well, this ain't traditional no more,
Right.
right? This is a different day and time. These especially college athletes are entering a new world, right? Because before this, these college athletes weren't getting paid like
Right.
this and have the ability to get paid, especially in front of everybody, and that they're getting paid. So this is all new territory. So shout out to them, man. I think I'm gonna rock with Dion first and foremost, and I've been telling people this me personally because I used to work with his first wife. I've been around Dion. I've been around his kids before. He's been in this Dallas community and in different iterations as far as little league football, the high school that he had here, and he was at a private school coaching, and they won a couple of state championships before he left and went to Jackson State.
Right.
So I've been around them. So I mean, that's my personal, thing that I have. I'm a rock with him. And of course he played for the Dallas Cowboys and
Right.
everything. So he's been around this community for, so
And he
you're
played for
talking
my
about a couple
Niners, and he
decades.
played for my Niners too, and got that
he
Super
did.
Bowl. But that's another story.
But he's been around Dallas for you talking about 20 plus years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right,
So like people from Dallas gonna rock with Dion. So
right.
and that's just what it is. So, and especially people from other areas. And I'll say this before we move on from Dion. I had somebody post a couple of days ago about there are other black coaches. Why don't we give support to these other black coaches as well? And I had to tell him there's no knock on any of these other black coaches because we want to make sure that we support all black coaches, right? It,
Right.
it, sh- it shouldn't be a difference is because, what I'm saying, this black coach, that black coach. But I had to tell him, you have to understand that Dion is not your traditional
Yeah,
college football coach.
you're not
Dion was not only a NFL star, he was
right.
quite arguably the best NFL defensive back to ever
Cornerback
play the
ever.
game.
Right.
So, and his star
And he
power,
carries a different swag.
yeah,
He's more out there
yeah.
compared to your
Oh,
other laid back coaches. So
Well, his
if you
star
lay
power has
back and you
always been that.
chill, right? If you
mhm.
lay back and you chill, that's the vibe. That's you more comfortable with. Prime is more comfortable with letting you know. You know what I'm saying? You can't beat me.
He ain't for
Right?
everybody, but guess what he ain't gonna do? Be quiet. So
Exactly.
Facts. Okay, so this is something that we can talk about really quickly before we move on. Brian Ellison made this comment, but do you think Dion is holding his son back? Because to me, he's ready.
No, I
Listen,
don't think he's holding him back. He wants him to go to Atlanta. He
listen.
wants him to go to an actual team where he
I
knows he'll be taken care of.
Well,
So
I think it's not about him not being ready. I
yeah,
think it's exactly what you're saying. It's about who's available in those top picks
right,
and where he's projected to go. And he wants number one, he wants to make sure that he's in that top 10. He's a top
right,
10 pick. So that means a different level of money you're going to be able to get when you get
right.
to that level, and also team considerations as well.
yeah.
Exactly.
So it's a lot involved. And this year's quarterback crop is a little
It's
bit
it's
it
it's
is a little
that
bit flooded. It's a flooded market for quarterbacks this year. So Shadur's stock is not going to be as high as it will be next year.
Yeah,
right.
So it
I think
makes
You
so.
talking
sense.
about Caleb Williams coming out, Penix Jr. is probably
Yeah,
coming out, McCarthy's coming out from
It's a
Michigan.
lot of them.
Bo Nix, Lord have mercy.
He
He
been in
done been
school
in college
forever.
forever. But you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? He's still balling this year, but
Yeah.
still, like you got like he's like, y'all go do y'all thing. My
I
son
think
will
that he
chill
got
out
a
and come
daddy
back.
that's been there, that's done that, that knows what it looks like, knows what to look out for, knows how to make sure he gets his top pick and the top money, and he doing what he's supposed to do as a
It's a
dad.
business. It's a
Excited.
business that
It's
Dion is very, very knowledgeable in. So I think Dion is going to do what's best for his son, and
that's right.
I don't doubt it.
Facts.
I don't
And
doubt
I
it at all.
guarantee you he
Holding him
goes
back,
where he
no.
wants his son to go.
Yep.
Holding him back, no. It's a hold on real quick because you
Yeah.
ready, but hold on real quick. Let's do this versus this.
Come
Yep.
back one more year
Yeah,
and let's compete next year
Let's
at a
get you some
high
linemen.
level. Yeah, let's get you some. Let's see what you can do behind a dope O line, and let's see what we can do next year at the college level, and we can let you show out a little bit more. And I guarantee you that'll raise his stock.
Because
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this: the kid has an arm, his arm
Yeah,
talent, and a lot of people don't understand what arm talent is. They just watch football. The throws that he can make in
yeah,
the
mhm,
windows and the ability to be on target and
yeah.
ball placement that I've watched him throughout the season under all this duress is top tier,
it's
dog.
top tier.
It's
It's
He,
top
top
he,
tier.
be-
tier.
he
So
be hitting
And
first.
if Tom Brady is endorsing you, believe me, Tom Brady ain't put nobody who can't ball on his training team. So
I mean,
I'm
that's
just
true.
telling
facts. That's
That's
facts. All right. So before we move on from college football, I got one question. Okay, so I don't know how deeply entrenched in college football you are, but if you could pick one team that you want to win it all this year, who's your pick that's gonna win it all?
oh,
Go ahead first, Patricia. I know
I ain't
mine.
watch
So
the stats like that, but
Okay, so this is what the college football picture looks like as of today. I got this today off
mm-hmm,
ESPN. So that's what it
mm-hmm.
looks like today.
ooh, ooh.
Now I know who I would want to win,
Who's
but
your pick? I'm
I want Michigan to win.
I was gonna say Michigan been around in my family. That's my sister's team, so I'm gonna say Michigan.
I'm
I
going with Georgia. I'm going with Georgia. I haven't seen anything that tells me anything different. To me, they're a little bit, it's a gap in between them and Ohio State to me, and especially Michigan and Washington. So, and I
Florida
believe
State ain't gonna make it because
Florida
their
State's
quarterback
quarterback,
just got
yeah, just
hurt.
got
Yeah,
hurt.
so
So,
you can
Yeah,
forget that. And
um,
they probably gonna lose to Washington this weekend. So
yeah, so I got to go with Georgia, man.
okay.
I got to go with Georgia. So we
That would be
we
I
good.
will see.
I
Yeah.
want Michigan to win because I think the NCAA is a joke because of what they're doing to Jim Harbaugh. I mean, for that little sign stealing. Look, come on, dog. Like folks been doing this for like forever, and NCAA knows it, and that's why they only gave him a 3-game suspension. So I kind of want it as a rub in the face type of thing
They
to the
snatching the fun out of
NCAA.
everything.
Yeah,
Dang.
I mean, it's like, come on, dog. Like like for real. So Jim Harbaugh played chess, and he sent them over all the top schools that were actually sign stealing at their games. So it got pretty interesting. So that's why I think they only gave him 3 games, because they reviewed that evidence and was like, "Oh, hold on,
They was like, oh,
everybody doing this? Oh, okay." As if he
yeah,
didn't know.
like they've been doing the junk like that for forever.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I'm going with Georgia. You all
All
say
right.
Michigan.
I'm
We
about to
will
follow
check.
up on
We will check back. You know what I'm saying?
that.
We
You
will
know
check
what?
back
I got
and
an
see
idea.
what happens. All
I got
right.
an idea for next football season, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
Before it
Okay.
starts, we should
Okay.
pick, after we see the rosters, we should pick who we think gonna win and follow up on it mid-season and at the end to see who was right.
I'm telling you, at the end of the
I
day,
like that.
nobody's gonna pick anybody else. Like ain't nobody picking. Like you gonna pick Philly. He gonna pick the 49ers.
I'm talking like across the whole
board.
all
I think
the
the whole board.
The whole board.
Okay.
I'm not
like
talking about
like
just our. Of course, we're gonna choose our team. So, but I'm talking about across the whole board. We have our predictions, and we lock them in at the beginning,
like a bracket,
and
like a
we
bracket
follow
type,
up.
Patricia.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we follow up to see who was right. Who got the most.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm gonna be right, so you know that.
Yeah.
So we might have to add a different piece to the show. We have our weekly predictions. You know what I'm saying? So we can
I like that.
we can talk about
like
that.
that.
Maybe we can add it that
We
way.
probably need to add that
like, let's do it.
that fantasy idea concept in there, because some people bet. So
I
that'd be
don't know about all that betting, but
That
you know,
was
especially when it comes to Benji, because he's a known loser when it comes to betting. So
yes, very true.
let's leave
That's why I don't do it.
But
yeah,
let's make it a little extra little spicy.
yeah, I'm with it. We can figure out the schematics and we can make it work. So that's a dope idea. All right. So next up, I want to touch real quick on women's basketball, right? College basketball season has started.
Man.
Y'all already know the guys get enough attention, but I think last year with LSU and Iowa and that whole attention, all that attention that matchup got, like that was unprecedented. Like the amount of media coverage, and it seemed like between the past couple of years, that and then the WNBA kind of took off a little bit more. Like there's been a lot more press coverage of the ladies, and it's dope, right? So we get a chance to see like the next crop, because I actually watch WNBA basketball, so I like to see the next crop of ladies that are coming through the ranks that are actually going to be in the WNBA. And you can kind of, the difference between I think the men's and the women's game is the women, you can point out a little bit better like who has the most skill, right? There are ladies who are very talented, but the skill level of some of those ladies is so far different from these other ladies that you can tell, okay, that one is definitely going to the WNBA because of her skill set, right? So, but one of the biggest star from last year, Angel Reese, right? She was all over the place. She's got the highest NIL evaluation of all those girls in college basketball, and then she got benched.
Yeah. She's away from the team right now, right?
Like that's an odd dynamic. We know LSU is stacked with talent, so you know there's that, but she got benched, and that was like, okay, when you bench your star, something's got to be really wrong when your star gets benched, right?
Let me take a peek at it and say she got her bread, she got her fame, and she decided she was going to do whatever she wanted to do. Probably didn't come in as, you know what I'm saying, as basketball ready as she should have been. And then, you know what I'm saying, that money kind of got to a little bit. So she kind of did her own thing, flying here, doing this, doing that, and then missed out on them grades a little bit. And you know what I'm saying? Thank God for Moki. She's like, get yourself together. It ain't about basketball right now. Get yourself together and then come back. It's early in the season. So that's kind of what I think is happening. It's just she just kind of went out and was a kid a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Having some fun, doing whatever, going here, visiting here, getting this endorsement deal, doing this, doing that, this photo shoot, that, doing all of these extra things, and then just kind of was like, all right,
So
we'll
what
come
you're
back to
saying is
basketball later.
like we used to happen in high school. Some of y'all know. Shout out to the people in high school who got kicked off the team because when grades came out, we can always tell when grades come out back in school. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Boys be like, man, yeah, I had strained my ankle a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Coach said I had to sit out a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Nah, you ain't your grade. your,
You was
your
You
pulling
grade.
in that.
you
You
slept.
pulling in that 59 in
Hey,
English.
man, your grades was out of sort. So, you conveniently gonna be out 2 to 3 weeks. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying with your
Right.
injury, and that's
Right.
3 weeks before that progress report come out for you to
Right.
get back on the field. So,
You gotta study a little bit more, and we gotta get one of them teachers to give you a little extra credit because you didn't show up for them classes because you was
Mhm.
at the photo shoot, you was over here, you was there, you got endorsed here, you did all of that.
so
And
you
I
think
think that's
you
what really
think that's
started off.
what it was? You think her grades is what the deal really was?
Yeah, because she, you know what I'm saying? Like when you get that amount of fame, money, you also gotta learn how to manage it. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know who the people are around here. You remember the girl, the track and field girl.
Oh,
You get what I'm
Shakari?
saying?
Alright.
Shakara, right?
Yeah,
Like she was super dope, but then like life hit her a little bit, and she had to take a little bit of a back seat because
A little
life
sleep.
just hit her. You get,
yeah. They're very
yeah,
young though. These
right.
the-
They're
these
young,
ladies, these kids are very young, and
right,
they're gonna make some mistakes. But like you
right,
said, with Moki, she's known for having a good rapport with with her athletes,
Oh yeah.
right,
and able to help them recover from things or get right, as we say. So I just hope from the situation. I don't know what the real deal behind the scenes
right,
is,
right.
but I want to see Angel Reese recover
Back
from
out on the
this,
field. Right,
Yeah.
back out on the court, and for her to finish, this year and go into the WNBA and ball out. So
right,
that's what I want to see, because I think the women's college basketball needs this, and it
right.
Yeah.
needs to continue to grow, and that spotlight needs to continue to be able to stay on them. And I think it's dope. So, shout out to
You
them.
just got to get locked back in, bro. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
Sometimes
mean, I
you
agree. I really think what Benji said is it. I really think it's the grades, and I really just feel
Mm,
like she got a little lost in. I mean, she's in Cardi B and Lotto's video. She's in
right,
this music video. She done got this photo shoot. She's in this commercial. She fashion over outfits, and she like a lot of stuff to take away. And at a young age, to not even notice or not have had to deal with this type of fame, especially if she then had a background where she ain't had stuff like that too.
right,
To then have all this, and then we lose sight of like what we're supposed to be focused on, and then it
right.
starts slipping. Grades start
And
slipping.
then you got people around you pulling on you
Now,
because
now
you're
you
bringing in the
go into
bread.
a whole nother caliber of people,
Exactly.
parties, all kind of stuff, and that too is taken away from it. So I think she got to get back into reality. I do think it's her grades. I think so.
okay.
And
Well,
Millionaires pulling on her because she look good. So
I
you
don't
know.
I don't I don't know about that one, but
I'm just saying, like
I don't know
it's
about that one.
all of it's out there, bro. Like everything's out there. Like, and when it opens up to you, you gotta learn. You gotta either be like, yeah, I'm good, and stay focused, or you indulge a little bit, and sometimes you indulge a little bit too much, and it takes away from what your true focus is, what got you there. So I just think she just, you know what I'm saying, Moki gonna get her right. She gonna get back in basketball
yeah,
shape, and then they gonna make their normal championship
yeah, I
run
think
like they
it's
did last year.
like Ken said. I mean, she's bringing more attention.
Right.
And so to have her not playing, you like people easily put the remote down and change the channel.
Facts.
Especially on WNBA. So real quick, like, oh, she ain't playing. All right, bet. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you
I
need
don't
her.
care what game you're playing. Every game has stars, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And you want your stars on the court. That's always the conversation with NFL and NBA, especially with these guys not playing, and people buying tickets to the game, and you show up and you've waited all year for the Lakers to come to your city. You bought tickets 2 months ago, and they show up and LeBron's not playing that night, and you're like, wow. Like, I paid, couple $100 or $600
Mhm.
for these tickets to
Yeah,
see Bron, and then he's not even playing. And it's not like he's injured. He's
he's
Not
out
playing.
with,
yeah,
whatever
each will
ailment.
Sunday and not play today.
Well, maybe
Right.
that's a bad example because Bron is 38. You know what I'm saying? So he might
But
have
we,
some
we
of
get
those
what you're
ailments.
saying though. We get what you're saying though.
But yeah,
But yeah, you want to see the stars. And of course, when people go see LSU basketball, it's associated definitely with Angel Reese. So, I hopefully they can get that remedy, fairly quickly and right the ship. So, shout out to them.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, I got to give a shout out to my Texas Rangers, right? A lot of people might not
Okay.
keep up with baseball, but Texas
Yeah,
Rangers, again, I'm a Dallas guy,
They
just
won
right up
it.
the street. They
they should
won that thing. We counting chips around here, right? The Dallas Mavericks got some, we got one.
Shout
The
out
the
Bruce Bochy for getting that them boys ready to roll.
the Texas Rangers got one. The Dallas Cowboys got quite a few. So we trying to get all our organizations around here to get at least one. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard. That's hard for a sports market, any city, to claim that their sports franchises have championships. You know what
yeah.
I'm
Right.
saying? So shout
I
out to the
mean,
Rangers.
the Rangers did their thing. I thought their bullpen was a little bit suspect going in, but they kind of did their thing. And then Garcia, whatever his name is, I can't remember that boy's name. That boy couldn't be stopped until he got hurt for the Rangers. It just seemed like every play. I was on the plane going to Portland, and the dude next to me was watching the game, and I was like, it was like the 10th inning or 11th inning. I think it was extra innings. And I looked at him. I was like, they better not pitch to that dude. And sure enough, he turned his phone off. I woke up after I was asleep. I was like, what happened? He was like, they pitched to him.
Oh,
And he hit that joint out the park.
and shout out to the Dallas Stars. Let me forget the Dallas Stars. They got Stanley Cup. They got
Right.
Stanley Cup. So you know what I'm saying? Dallas, we winning. We winning out here.
That was
Whether they old or recent, you know what I'm saying?
there.
We got them. You know what
But
I'm
I
saying?
can't
So,
know who is really stacking up some chips and doing
who-
some things. They're trying to be. They getting a lot of attention. They got to pay for all that money they spending out there, Las Vegas.
Oh,
They they tearing down the Rio for that's where the new baseball stadium is going.
baseball stadium.
Yeah,
Oakland is going there. So I mean,
yeah, well, I
Las
think
Vegas is the money town, man.
they're in a money town, but Vegas, the football team, the Raiders,
I was gonna say the
man,
Raiders aren't going to do anything for
yeah.
them, but
well, no.
Shout,
you know,
Antonio Pierce got him on. Antonio Pierce got him playing
okay, we
shout
short.
got
out,
hold on.
shout out to the Aces, because they actually have won, and they won back
Right.
to back championships.
The hockey team has won.
And then the hockey, and then
And I've heard, I haven't been yet, but this is the word out on the street, is that if you ever go to a hockey game, go see the Las Vegas hockey team.
yeah, that's
Supposedly it is like none
that's.
other. It's supposed to be super lit to go to the, so I
Let me
mean, I
tell you,
gotta
I was
get you
out
on,
there when they won, and it was insane.
I'm sure.
I
It
haven't
was
watched
I'm sure.
I haven't watched hockey in quite some time, so I don't even know what the Las
Did
Vegas
you hear
hockey
what
team
happened?
is. Like,
The
what the name?
Knights,
The
Las
night.
Vegas Knights.
Did you hear what happened? I don't know what team it was, but old boy who kicked his leg back and his blade slipped, dude's
And he
throat.
slit his
Yeah,
throat.
He's
Yeah,
arrested
yeah, that's
right
crazy.
now.
he's done.
They
Yeah.
arrested him.
That's
I'm
crazy,
gonna tell you
man.
straight up,
That's
hockey,
crazy.
watching hockey live
Oh yeah,
is
watching hockey live is
probably
dope.
one of the live sports action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hockey live is pretty dope. I
No,
can't
hockey live is the only way to watch it for me,
Right.
because if it's on TV, I'm not
You're
watching it.
like,
I've
yeah,
been
I'm
to I've
good.
been to some Stars games, and let me tell you, the first Stars game I ever went to, I think I was 13 or 14, and they were
Mhm.
playing the Kings. And back then, the Kings were known for fighting, and that's what happened. It's a lot of fights that occur in the arena that you don't see on TV, and they
You
were
went
fighting the
you went
whole
to the
time.
the
I
time
have
when
been to
Luke
one.
Robitaille was playing.
Man, I don't remember, but I know we had Mike Madonna. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying, the
Mike
legend Mike
Madonna, yeah.
Madonna. Man, hey man, there was so many fights. It was crazy. So that was my expectation of hockey from that point forward.
Right.
To see fights. You know what I'm
It's
saying? And
it'll be a fight for sure.
if I
Oh, yeah,
didn't
I
see
gotta go.
fights, I'm like, you know, so it wasn't a really good hockey game if it ain't
Nah,
no fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
it
Smacking
wasn't good.
folks
They
up
didn't fight.
against the boards.
Hey
Smacking folk up
man.
against the board, hitting, you know what I'm saying? When I went, the little kids was very vulgar, man. I was
Oh yeah,
like,
hockey's
oh,
a wild sport. The fans are very wild in hockey. I think now this is just my opinion. I think the wildest sports fans are soccer fans first and
Oh
foremost.
yeah,
I
yes,
think
yes,
soccer fans are by far the wildest and the most fanatic. You know
yes.
what I'm saying? Energy.
Go
Uh,
watch the video.
follow closely by football fans because I've seen a lot of fights in the stands. And this is okay. This is my thing. I'm not gonna go on no rant. We're gonna talk about the NFL coming up next. So this is a good transition. But
Right.
I think they need to slow down or stop selling alcohol at these football games now because it is too many fights at the football games. Too many. And
Hey, when they bringing
it's
in that bread,
crazy.
No, yeah.
when they giving you a can for $20, they
It's
ain't gonna stop.
crazy.
Well, so
Like
they're already
$25 for a little can.
it's a lot already. You could $40 for just you and your partner to have a drink, $40-something. But
Right. That's big
yeah, I
time
can't
money.
say there's some people that just be highly inebriated and be
bro,
just talking, and it's like, who are you talking to? Like, hold on. So it's been some times we be sitting there like,
I have
who,
seen
who does he
people
belong to?
people
Right?
fighting
Like you here with your wife.
the other teams fans and people fighting their own fans. I'm
All
like,
fans.
what is going on at
Wow.
the games?
49ers came to play against the Rams. They was fighting.
Yes. Well, I went to the Niner game
They was
out in
fighting.
San Jose, and they weren't fighting. But let me just say this: the dude that was next to me, I got video. This dude hollered the entire game. Like, bro, I'm like, bro, ain't nobody hearing you but us. Like, but he was the
We're tired.
entire game.
Oh
The
no.
and I'm like, yeah, it's some fanatics. They call them fans for a reason. Let's put
Yeah,
fanatics, and they be wild. And you get them on some of that liquor, because you can't drink nothing there unless it's really liquor, unless it's water. They only
yeah,
selling liquor. And
Yeah, they
yeah,
got the actual bars at SoFi. It's a bar.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know, but it needs to be some type of solution out there because man, it's
Anywhere it
too
goes,
many
I'm
fights,
still
man.
fine.
All right, so let's move on to the NFL as a whole. Okay, so we got to start with the most recent game last night.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure everybody was tuned in because according to the information that was put out this morning, it was the most watched Monday Night Football game ever.
Because we relived the Super
Oh,
Bowl. But
Right? Yes,
preview of
yes,
the Super
and
Bowl. Yes,
and
yes.
that's what it. Well, you have the two teams who were in the prior Super Bowl.
you heard.
So and then you have the Kelsey brothers. That adds to it
That was
definitely.
that. And then you got
To the
And you got Taylor
to,
Swift
yeah,
fans kind of
to
tuned in a
well,
little bit more.
I don't know about the Swifties, but I know
Hey
the
man,
first
her
two.
influence is bananas, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
bro.
Well,
Y'all go.
I mean,
Y'all,
hey,
she doing bigger. She doing big numbers, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
well,
I
I
mean,
didn't see her last night,
thank
but
God.
I did see the game. The game was a good back and forward game. Hey, of course, Patrick Mahomes was Patrick. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
he was out there slinging the rock.
he was.
And, it's hard when people talk about, the greats of the game. He's still playing, but you know that at the end of the day, when he hangs up his cleats, he's definitely going to be mentioned with the top quarterbacks to ever play the game,
oh,
hands
that's a
down,
fact. That's a
bar
fact.
none.
Oh yeah.
Right. So to see him and then Jalen Hurts is on the other end of that spectrum because he's still fairly young and he's playing great, but he's cementing his legacy as we speak, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So to watch those two go back and forth, and quite honestly, like I said, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm a football fan first, and I
Right.
want to see good football. And those are two really good teams, well coached teams.
Right.
They have great players. Like this is a good matchup. But I'm gonna talk about it at the end. I'm gonna let Trish Michelle go first because this is her squad. But I have an
Mm,
asterisk that I'm gonna put next to this game a little bit. So Trish
okay.
Michelle, how did you feel about the performance of your Eagles last night and their win?
Offensively,
Trash.
I'm not gonna lie, that was not the best offensive display for us. Hurts almost put us in some situations, little whoopsies a couple of times.
Hurts almost hurt y'all.
Hurts almost hurt us, and I was like, dude, like get it together, like
Right.
because you literally, I think about 3, 4, maybe a couple times that literally they almost had, and it was like, dude, like that was game changer almost, like,
Right.
and I'm sitting here like we playing like we're not playing it, but also on our line we got some offensively some people missing that would keep them away. Kelsey trying to do his best to lock it up, and they get into him, and Hurts is rushed out the pocket, but it just was. We still made it, but it wasn't the best display. And thank God we made it. We picked it up a little bit better in the second half, but on the other end, we got Mahomes, which, like you said, I much respect to Mahomes. Is an amazing quarterback. He's if you ain't watched the thing on Netflix, go watch it. You need to get a little bit
Very
more
dope. Very dope.
respect for Mahomes for sure. Like
Yep.
go watch that because he's like no other. He's in his own little path there. So you watch him, you watch a great team, and then you see some of the greats on his team. Kelsey and what's the boy at the end that dropped it, like them not make these catches that you know they would
Scantling.
yeah, that you know would like they would have made. And it's like we over here playing with fire. Like
Right.
Literally.
Right.
So it really was just like it was a gut-wrenching game. It was
Yeah.
very intense. It was back and forth at the end of the day, still too. It was a great game, reliving some Super Bowl. But I still feel like, we did do we got a good win and we needed it. But there was some calls that didn't get called on us that, I mean
See, I love it. I love it.
I'm not
I mean,
gonna lie.
hey,
There was I said, ooh, but I ain't telling on my team. But I think
I love it. I love that you're on. I love the honesty. See, there's not many fans out there who are honest enough to say, you know what, we had some good no calls and
right,
own up to it. And a lot of people they're in denial. So I appreciate that. See, this is
right,
why we love Trisha Michelle and her comments, because she's honest. Her
right.
honesty is amazing. So
Yeah, we appreciate that.
we still won though, so don't.
Give me my W. Give me my W.
facts. So okay, Benji, talk to us about the game. What did you see? What did you like? What did you enjoy about last night's Monday Night Football game? If you were able to check it out.
Overall, yeah, and I watched the entire game. Overall, you know what I was more impressed? I was really impressed. Kansas City defense is pretty good this year.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Like they've made some strides in making sure that the defense kind of steps up this year. So I was kind of watching that and seeing they was getting to Hurts a little bit.
But
So
it was hurting.
which right, you get what I'm saying? So and that defense has been playing really, really, really good overall this year. So I think that's their calling card this year because I just think they know Mahomes can come through for them, and
Yeah.
which he should have last night. I know the biggest thing is that drop by Scantling, because I don't understand how you dropping the ball with the sticky gloves the NFL give you.
And no pressure.
Yeah, like that was like so I was kind of like good win for the Eagles, even though I thought they played sloppy, but it was some bad weather. And you got to win the ugly games too. Every game ain't gonna be you throwing 350 yards. Some, you know what I'm saying? Like they had an ugly game in the Super Bowl.
Like I said.
Right.
A win is a win.
A win is a win. I don't care
win is
how
a
you
win.
win it. Like just get the W. So for them to kind of get an ugly win, which they've kind of done kind of all this year, and the theme is that the Eagles haven't really played their best ball yet. So that I was like, okay. And it was just a back and forth game. Kansas City doesn't really lose at home when Mahomes is up at halftime. I believe the record is like he's 38-4, somewhere around there. Right. So like
the last 18 games where they started off in the league,
he wins. So
yeah.
Shut that down.
Right. They shut that down. And again, it's it's week what, 10, 11, whatever it is, right? So I mean, do we expect to see both of them in the Super Bowl again?
Chances are good.
Chances are, I believe, because I got
I
my
know you don't
49ers
want to say
officially
that.
getting over the Eagles this year. So you get what I'm saying?
I know,
So that's
I
another
know you don't
story.
want to say that.
But
Well, we got you and we got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but
these
Kansas
last
City
3 games are the one, like the Chiefs, the Niners, the Cowboys is where it's like,
right. But in the
Yeah.
AFC,
because I know
the
y'all coming for
Chiefs better be careful with them Ravens, man. And it sucks because Andrews is out now.
Mm.
But it's, you got to be careful though. You get what I'm saying? So overall, dope game. A lot of people watched. I tuned in.
it was
Of
worth
course,
tuning in.
it was a dope game to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was glad that kind of the Eagles actually kind of pulled it out so that Cowboy fans couldn't get that satisfaction of seeing the Eagles
Because
lose.
See the
that
hate.
You know they was coming.
See the hate.
You know they
See the
was
hate.
coming.
See the hate.
talked about
I had my homegirls like I'm rooting for Kansas City. I'm
I
like,
mean, of
all kinds of
course,
stuff talking about don't be crying today. I said
of
the game
course,
ain't
you
over.
don't want them to win. They're in our division. Like, what do you
yeah, I mean,
expect? You know what I'm saying? Like, we
Just like we want
definitely don't
y'all
want them to win. I don't want Washington to win. I don't want the Giants to win. So
for what?
the Eagles ain't different from that. Like anybody in our division, I'm wishing losses on them every week. So
right.
it just is what
Although
it is.
Although, Patricia, I do think y'all lose to the Bills this week because y'all on the emotional high. Y'all just beat Kansas City, and I think y'all might chill out
Trap game. Trap
on this
game.
trap game in
Oh
Buffalo.
yeah, I
So
don't
I that's my hunch, but
I don't think
we'll
so.
see. We'll see.
Well,
I don't think
for
so.
for me, I had my notes as always, and I put the Eagles escape with a victory as the wide receivers for Kansas City must have ate Butterfingers at halftime
They did.
because they came out after halftime dropping all kinds of passes. That last
With the
pass,
sticky gloves.
just it just stood out because it was for the game,
There was
but
many. There was many.
there was many drop passes and they went.
Watson dropped one right over the
Yeah,
middle,
yeah. I mean,
first
there
down.
was a bunch of drop passes.
Even the last play. This boy, last play was 4th and 25. He jumps up. The ball's right there to be in the first down, right here. He dropped it.
Oh yeah. Yep,
He
that one.
dropped
And then Kelsey had like 3.
The
And
drop by Scantling, though, let's talk about it for a
it.
second.
let's talk about it.
That was a hard catch, right? It hit his hands. It was a difficult catch. So, when people talk about, well, he shouldn't have dropped it. I feel it, right? He's an NFL wide receiver. It hit both hands.
Yeah.
That's traditionally and
If it
usually
touches your
by
hands,
most
it tell you you're
people.
supposed to catch
Well,
it.
by most people's standards, that's a catch. That's
Right.
going to be a catch, right? It was
Yeah.
a difficult catch, but nonetheless, he should have caught it. And he knew
Right.
it because when he went in the locker room and they showed him in the hallway going to the locker room,
Smacked his
he
helmet up.
smacked his helmet up against the wall. He was visibly upset, which rightfully so. But at the end of the day, it happens, man. And
But
it
guess
doesn't.
what though? He is known for dropping passes.
Well,
It's not he does it. That's his thing. I think
at
he
the end
has
of
the
the day,
most drops in the
even the
NFL this year.
best drop passes, and it happens. And sometimes it's just your it's just your day.
And
Right.
It's just
unfortunately,
your
it
game.
happened to be the game changing drop.
Yeah.
And
So
I mean, it does happen, but at the end of the day, you know what everybody's gonna say. You got to make those.
I think
You gotta make
that there's a great chance again that the Chiefs see the Eagles again. So,
It's very possible.
maybe redemption is there, maybe so,
Oh,
but
we're definitely gonna see it. Yeah.
we will see. And
At that time.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But before we go deeper into the NFL schedule, well, I'll tell you what, I'll save that. I'll save that jewel. Let's
Okay.
look at some of the standings right now. I'm just gonna go through these standings so people can understand. I have down halfway, this is kind of like, what I'm saying, the a little bit past the halfway point of the season. So how's your team looking? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So we're gonna go through these standings. Benji, close your eyes. Benji, close your eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because some of these might be a little rough for a lot of people, right? NFC North, the Lions are a surprise team this year.
They are.
They're 8-2, they balling.
Wow.
And the Bears ain't surprising being at the bottom. They've been at
Yeah.
the bottom, so that's not too
yeah.
surprising. But the Lions, I think, might be the shock of the league right now.
Yeah,
I
that
think
is.
that nobody expected them to be 8-2 at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
The NFC South has always been kind of trash. So,
Yeah.
shout out to all the Saints fans who try to give us a hard time because it's a lot of Saints fans in the Dallas area and vice versa in the
And
South
they gonna
area.
freaking make the playoffs in that crappy position too.
Yeah, but they
They're gonna
just
be a
benefit
division
from
winner. Yeah,
being in the sorry division. So,
right,
shout out
right.
to them. The Panthers 1-9. We struggled with them in the first half of the game this week, which is crazy, but we got right and finished it off. So, you
They
know,
were just trying to make the first half interesting.
yeah, I guess. Well, I didn't
Oh,
like it.
that's the writers, the script.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
the script writers.
as Jerry Jones said, give it to halftime, boys.
All right. So the Eagles are doing what they do, right?
Right.
The Eagles are taking care of business. We gotta step our game up to make sure that we maintain pace. And I'll go on record and tell you right now, just looking at what's remaining of both schedules, I think the Eagles will probably win our division. This is no surprise to most with the
Right.
record that they have now and what they have remaining, their games remaining. I think we have a more difficult schedule remaining. And I know we can't win all the games. I hope we do, but I mean, this is the NFL. Everybody's gonna bring the A game, so it's gonna be a tough trek the rest of the way. We just got to make sure we get in the playoffs. that's first and foremost. So, and the Commanders commanding L's as usual, and the Giants is not, they the little Giants now. So
Yeah, they ain't giant, ain't
you
nothing
know,
giant about.
yeah.
Right.
So the 49ers are still 7-3. They hanging in there. Shout out to my cousin Johnny Holland, who's the linebackers coach for the 49ers. Shout out to him.
We're gonna
So
win
that's
the
why
division.
I can't give the 49ers too much flack because my cousin is a linebackers coach. A lot of love for that guy. But yeah, y'all division is the Seahawks is decent, but the Rams and the Cardinals terrible. And I'm ashamed to say
I was gonna
that
say, I know this
that
makes you sick.
that the 2-9, to see them 2-9 and know one of those two is one from us, it's like
Y'all
crazy.
gave them one of them two. That's
Oh man, it's crazy.
Jerry Jones gave him a W. That's all.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
he gonna want a favor. He gonna want a favor from him. He gonna want a favor from the Cardinals somewhere down the line.
Facts. All right. So the AFC North, as Benji
Tough.
mentioned, the Ravens, they're a tough squad. The Browns
The
look
Browns,
solid.
man.
This is
That
actually a solid
defense.
division. This is actually probably one of the more solid divisions
yeah.
of competitive. So, shout out to them. The Jaguars, that's pretty surprising to me too, that they're
Cowboy. I mean,
7-3.
49ers smacked them boys. So
7-3 though. They 7-3, bro. They got the same record y'all got.
Yeah.
I
They got the
mean,
same record.
we still smacked them boys though.
They
Oh,
one
okay.
one
Came
game
off a
don't
bye
matter.
week and
That
came off
means
a bye
they
week
can
and done
smack
them
y'all.
boys
That
dirty.
means they can possibly smack y'all if
Yeah,
y'all.
one game don't matter any given Sunday. Any given Sunday.
CJ
So
Stroud though for the Texans.
yeah,
Is balling.
balling.
Yeah.
So, and the Titans is at the bottom, they falling. So
Yeah.
shout out to them. All right, the Dolphins, solid team again. The Bills look fairly decent. The Patriots are Bill Belichick, man. Maybe you need to start cheating again, dude, because y'all struggling. Patriots is struggling. The
Struggling.
Jets is doing what I thought the Jets would do, because when Aaron Rodgers went down, that was a big blow. To what
They beat didn't they beat me? We have my losses to them, ain't it?
yeah.
Which-
Y'all had a bad beat too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, but this is the NFL and this is what happens, right?
Let me get my
So,
charger real quick.
This is like what we were saying earlier, is that you just don't know. You got unexpected wins and losses. They're not really picking out this easy schedule for people or hard. It's just like the Jets. We lost to the Jets. Who the heck? Like what?
Yep. So, okay, so I pulled this. So this is the playoff picture right now, right? Now this is prior to yesterday's game. So Philadelphia is now 9-1.
Yes.
So if the playoffs started today, this is what it will look like. You got Philly in, Detroit in, San Francisco in, New Orleans 5-5 is in. So the wild cards will be Dallas, Minnesota, and Seattle right now. And that New Orleans is looking crazy at 5-5 at 500. You're in the playoffs. It's crazy.
That's crazy. And then look who you're like, you're not even against the stack. The rest, get out of there. Get out of there.
So, but that's what the NFC picture will look like right now. And as far as AFC, this is what they would look like. Again, the Kansas City Chiefs are now 7-3 after yesterday's game. Baltimore 8-3, Jacksonville 7-3. So the parity is there. Like they're pretty much even as far as record. But again, people, that's just the AF, they're just the playoff pictures as of this week, right? So of course we got many more games to be played. So this is going to look totally different, more than likely in the next few weeks.
Oh yeah, the team's
Um,
dropping off for sure.
yeah. So hopefully it's not your team, but hey, it just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Some teams we know are gonna be there. Like pretty much, I'm pretty sure like teams like Philly and Kansas City are gonna be where they are right now as the top seeds. I don't see anybody displacing them as the top seed in the AFC and the NFC right now. But it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing, how all this stuff plays out. There are some of these teams like that they say in the hunt. When you look at Denver and say Denver's in the hunt, it just looks crazy to even see that Denver is in the hunt because I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't think Russ would be playing this bad. And when I look at the games, he doesn't seem like he's playing bad all the time. I don't know what it is. It's something wrong with the chemistry there in Denver. I don't know if it's Sean Payton. I don't know if it's Russ. I don't know what's going on, but something ain't right.
Yeah,
Something.
I think I want to say it has something to do with probably some chemistry, something in the back there. Like it's not all just him.
Yeah,
It's not making sense.
yes, something is not right. Something's not right in Denver. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it, but I
Ever
don't
since
know.
it's just not been working out for him, and it's making him look like he sucks more than what he actually does. And like it's just not a good look. And I
You
was
know
just
what?
popping out more babies, and everybody like stop popping them babies out and focus on this kid.
I don't know if Sierra dancing like she was dancing on the hood of that car back in the day in that what's that video whoa or whatever
Oh yeah,
if she was popping it like if she really like that in real life, hey, keep spitting them babies out, homeboy, because y'all
yeah.
married, y'all doing it in the context of what you should. It's all good, you know what I'm saying?
I'm here for it. I ain't got nothing against it, but
And man, man, Russ say he is not pulling out. I don't blame you, bro.
clearly,
I mean, dang.
I don't blame you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
But yeah, I mean, I think from what we see of that playoff picture, I think most of that's gonna probably be pretty close to that when we
yeah,
come back. Look at that at the end. But hey, the NFL is full of parity.
yeah.
And there's no telling what could happen. One injury could change the trajectory
Oh
of
man,
the team's whole season.
yeah,
So
49ers, we just
ACLs
lost
out
our
here.
safety.
These
yeah.
ACLs is tearing like crazy everywhere. So
Right.
ACLs, Achilles, like it's crazy, and when you got explosive people like that, you know what I'm saying, it happens more and more, and these guys are getting more and more explosive. And with sports medicine, the good thing about it is it's able to get these guys back on the field a lot quicker.
Super fast, right.
Right. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers with whatever he did because they've been showing footage of him out there throwing passes and dropping back. And
He
I'm
says
like,
he'll be back December 2nd,
at this point,
practicing.
when I tore my Achilles, man, a couple months after that, I'm still struggling to walk. This man out there throwing passes and dropping
Right.
back.
look, dude out
Hey,
there, he getting that little movement going, little twist.
I'm like,
Okay,
dang. Of course,
hey,
I don't have millions of dollars, so I couldn't get a ride in my leg. But
right,
I'm like, dang, man, medicine the medicine out there is amazing, man. So
right. That's
you know what
fact.
I'm saying? Shout
Sports,
out to them.
sports, they got to keep you up on them two toes, two legs. So
yeah,
You
they
say
gonna.
two toes. Who you talking about?
I'll just say
Dion?
two toes. Dion, yeah.
Dion got two toes, man. Shout
Oh,
out to
that's
Dion, man.
right. Oh,
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. It's crazy. All
Alien
right.
foot.
All right. So I wanted to talk about briefly, while we're on the NFL, a couple more topics. Recently they've been talking about the hip drop tackle being outlawed. And a lot
Right.
of people are not aware of what that is. So of course I have my trusty, images that I pulled. And let me make sure that people see this. Look at Tony Pollard's foot from last year during
Right.
the game against the 49ers where he broke his leg. And
Mm-hmm.
you see how his foot is turned and his leg is broke, that's a drop. That's a hip drop
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
where you grab the guy and you drop your hips and you just pull
On
him
his
down.
leg, yeah.
A lot
Right.
of times those guys end up falling on the guy's leg, and these are the results, right?
Right.
So this is what the league is trying to outlaw, which, I get it, right? I totally get it, but it's like, at what point do you stop? You know, I guess it's seeming to be very difficult to be a defender
It's
Yeah.
because
it's eventually gonna go to flag football, bro.
I don't think so, but it's like
I
it's
hope
it's,
not.
it's hard to tackle because you have to, instead of you being able to just to get the guy down, which was back
Yeah.
when we were playing, it was just the object was to get the guy on the ground. Period.
It's a
Right.
Any way
post
you could get him
that
on the ground, so
drop your weight.
you can't horse collar, as of next season they're pushing to have it done before the combine so they can vote on it and get it instituted for next season where you can't tackle like that. So these guys have to relearn how to play the game a different way versus what they've been accustomed to playing all these years, which is going to be
Right.
very difficult for you
I,
to,
I agree.
you you
That's how
you
Andrews got hurt.
you
So
you're trying to make a tackle and you're trying to do something that's natural, right? That's
and you
something that's
pull
a
it
second.
and you're trying to pull a dude down who's squatting 500 and used to carrying that on his back.
Well,
So
you're thinking too much instead of just
Yeah.
doing what you've been trained to do since you were little is play football, man. You
right,
ain't out there thinking of how I'm gonna tackle this dude.
You end up
right,
getting hurt more that way because now you thinking so much to do it, and then all of a sudden here comes something else, or you done landed a different way now because now you're trying to compensate to not do this, so now you landed it. It's how are you really gonna like? Yeah, that's too much thinking to be just trying to just play the game. Like
That's tough.
that's a lot.
Yeah, that's
I would
tough.
hate it.
That's definitely tough. So,
yeah,
I
that's gonna be a tough one. I
The
want to.
joy out
They
of it.
probably are going to take it out.
no,
So
they're definitely going to take it out. It's just they're right now trying to get it to where they can vote on it when they meet during the combine and when all the owners and everybody come to owners meetings and all that stuff and they vote on that stuff. They're
right,
definitely trying to get it done there. So if they can get everything lined up and paperwork and everything out there so they can get everything signed, it definitely will go into effect next season. That's what they're trying to do.
No,
right.
they need to
So
focus on these turf fields. That's the problem. While they over here
Hmm.
drop hips,
I
what are they
agree.
doing about the turf? Like
yeah, that's another concern as well. So I mean, for a lot of people, like when we grew up, we were either playing on grass, which was amazing, and it's dope to play on
Or
real
the
grass,
concrete.
or you were playing on the artificial turf that had concrete under it.
Yeah,
So if you're in Dallas, shout out to my Dallas people again. Y'all know about Sprague football field in Oak Cliff. Yeah, yeah. It was cement under that turf, and yeah, we paid dearly for it, a lot of us. So shout out to my people that made some sacrifices on that field. Um,
man.
all right, so let's talk about the quarterbacks for a minute. We have little discussions about the quarterback. Of course, the quarterback is primarily the most important piece to a football team because it can make or break you, right? Your quarterback play. So they come out with these quarterback ratings, the
Mhm,
QBR. So
mhm.
when I was pulling the QBR, this is what it is as of today, right? So this is who is on the top of the QBR. This is not something Big Ken said or made
Right,
up.
right.
This is straight from the NFL website. These are your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now,
excuse me.
according to the QBR.
Woo,
So you
man.
got Purdy, you got Dakota, you got Herbert, you got Allen, and you got Mahomes. Now, I will say that for Patricia's sake,
No, no,
your
no.
guy, Jalen Hurts is number 6.
No, I'm sure, but
Yeah, he's number 6.
Holmes is down at 5.
Yeah, he
Yes.
actually isn't playing that great this year as his
Yeah.
normal
So so
stats.
But you
so
got
so you gotta
Herbert playing better than him.
take into context the QBR is like an average of their rushing yards, their passing yards.
Oh
So
yeah, okay,
if guys are getting sacked a lot,
yeah.
that counts against them
Well, yeah, y'all
because
stacked
that's
Hurts a
Ye-
lot last
yeah,
year.
so that counts against guys, even if they throw for a lot of yards, if they got a lot of negative yards because they're getting sacked.
Yeah,
Right.
So that
Hurts
plays into it. But
I
this
think
is the QBR rating that people like to throw stats out there. Well, this is the stats, people. And this is, on the NFL website. You can go pull it yourself. You can go pull it
Chris,
up.
okay,
It's not
Purdy.
something. It's not a construct of Big Ken. It's
I'm, I'm,
facts.
I'm not mad. I'm here for it. I
It's
know,
facts.
I know my quarterback is still, like you said, he's still building his. So yeah, there's some junk he be doing that I'm just like, bro.
Yeah.
To me,
So
at the end of the day, it's
So
about which quarterback you trust can make that throw in a crunch time game. And I mean, we all know Mahomes on that list. What you
I
would
just think
take
it's all
Mahomes over
around.
that.
It just
Yeah,
ain't even the throws, because at the end of the day, is he gonna run when he needs to? Is he going under pressure in the pocket? Is he gonna know how to keep that eye and know where to go? And
right,
Mahomes will make some different little curves on that.
I
right,
mean, I think if you're a football fan, you know better. You know
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes is the top quarterback in the NFL,
right, right,
bar none,
but yeah,
and you would take him over your own quarterback any day
right.
if you're a football fan and you know what you're talking
Facts,
about. So
facts.
it just is what it is. All right, so let's talk about the power rankings. Benji found this piece of information. Let's talk about these NFL power rankings, right? So we're gonna throw this up there real quick. The contenders, the NFL power rankings right now. We got at number 10, the Cleveland Browns, which is kind of a surprise.
Which actually, if you that Cleveland is my sleeper team this year. Of course, what you
Okay.
call is out now, but
oh,
they're my sleeper team this year because of their defense. So
hmm.
that's they're pretty interesting.
Okay. See, I see some comments that we got to address. So,
Oh, address.
let me go ahead and get through this list because we got to address some of these comments. All right. So, these are the contenders, NFL power rankings from the NFL website. Shout out to Benji for pulling this for us. Cleveland Browns at 10, Jacksonville Jaguars at 9, Buffalo Bills at 8, Miami at 7, Dallas at 6, San Francisco at 5, Baltimore at 4, Detroit, which is the surprising team
The
of the year at
surprise,
3,
Right.
Kansas City at 2, and
and of
Philly at
course
1,
Philly.
which
Right,
is, which I think is pretty much spot on. It's pretty
Yeah,
much
right.
correct.
I agree.
Except for
Like,
I may switch, you know, a couple of teams after 5. You know what I mean? I think the Cowboys
mm,
stay there. I would have Cleveland in that Buffalo spot, and I would have
mm,
Jacksonville at like 10, and it just a little bit of movement there. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty accurate.
well, I think it all goes back to two people have to understand the power rankings, and the power rankings are also governed by that team's schedule,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
The
right.
strength of schedule and who their opponents are and things of that nature. So that's calculated in that too as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I saw some comments and we definitely got to address them. So it's a great segue. This comment by Brian Slack Ellison, and he said this: Dak is the best mobile quarterback since Michael Vick. Okay.
Uh, uh,
Okay, hold on. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Been a Dallas Cowboys fan since I was a little tyke, right? And Brian, I gotta wholeheartedly disagree with you.
yes, you
Dak
you you
used to
you
be
LJA.
there are a few quarterbacks, quite a few. I would say Daniel Jones is more mobile than Dak. So yeah, I mean that's
Josh Allen is more mobile than that.
bruh,
Yeah.
that's a bold statement, and
That's
I,
that's
I
not true in this
He
current
just like that.
state.
I
Hurts is
appreciate you. I
better.
appreciate you commenting, but that's a stretch. That's a
Hurts
stretch.
is more mobile than that.
Facts. Yeah,
Yeah, a
like he.
lot of them are. Dak now is where,
Mahomes is more mobile than
I mean, of
that.
course,
Yeah, I
no,
think I I,
say
I I I think old Brian. I think old Brian was. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Was
he, I
just. You
think
know what I'm
he, I
saying?
think he at
He
work right
trolling.
he
now.
He
Is
putting on
trolling.
for the team. Maybe he
He
might. Yeah,
trolling.
that
He
might be
trolling. He got to be trolling. He got
he
to be
possibly
trolling.
he putting on for his team, right?
I guess. I guess so. All right. So
he
while we talking about
better
these
pass that.
quarterbacks, we're talking about these quarterbacks. Benji pulled this as well. So this is an interesting conversation we'll have real quick. All right. So this is the top 7 quarterbacks that never won an MVP.
Oh yeah, I
It's
seen you post that in
interesting.
the chat. I was some of them I didn't even.
So
I'm like, dang.
yeah.
Right. I was shocked when I looked at that.
So we got Warren Moon, we got Drew Brees, we got Troy
Yeah,
Aikman, Ben
Big thing.
Roethlisberger,
big.
Eli, Philip Rivers, Roger Staubach. My
Now
two,
Eli, I can understand
well,
because I
no,
don't think he was great
the
in
two
regular
biggest
season.
ones to me is Troy and Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
For as great
man,
as those teams were that
But
absolutely.
they
Warren
played
Moon
on.
also though, bro, because Warren Moon had some years.
Yeah, but you gotta understand
He
too,
was he was in the Dan Marino era, I think.
but you understand too, let's be honest, he was a black quarterback in the
Yeah,
80s and 90s. So, that
yeah,
wasn't where the league was back then. They saw the talent, but we were just coming out of an era where they were afraid to have a lot of teams were just afraid to have a
face.
black quarterback, period.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
So, shout out to Doug Williams for, for us, what I'm saying, as little dudes. That was, I think, pretty
right,
much the first black quarterback that we saw play when we
right,
were young. So, and then Randall Cunningham and then Warren Moon. So, but the league wasn't ready for that yet. So
right,
there may be
right.
some other reasons behind that one.
right.
But yeah, Troy, that was a little bit shocking to
Yeah,
me.
I
It's a little bit
agree.
shocking to me.
The first one on there, I thought that was really shocking when I saw it was Troy. I was like, hold on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know he had a fire team around him, but that man was a baller.
Yeah, so I'm 9 times out of 10, Emmett and probably some other players were getting those awards.
Right.
Because they had so many stars on that team. So shout out to them. But before we move on to the NBA,
But now I want to ask y'all a question though.
mhm,
Of that list, you get to draft one as your number one pick. Who you taking? Who you
I
taking?
I'm still
It's
I'm
your
still
number one pick. You the GM. You get to pick one of those
Cool thing.
quarterbacks. Who you take?
or are we playing in their era or are we playing in
Yeah,
today's era?
It don't matter. You get them the quarterbacks you got to pick. You coming out wherever you want. You got to pick one of those quarterbacks. You got to draft them. He's your pick. Who
In
you got?
today's era, I'm gonna rock with my boy Troy. His
All right.
accuracy is probably second to none, man.
Troy's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's me. That's where I'm going. I'm going Troy.
I would agree. I think we all would pick Troy Aikman off
Troy's
of that
good.
list. I
Troy's
can't
a
lie.
great choice.
I
It's
can't lie.
crazy that he hasn't achieved
Yeah,
that.
Troy got a cannon on him. I ain't lying. Like
Facts.
when you look back at some of them throws he was making and the windows and the accuracy, like
He was a
like
Yeah.
beast.
that's an easy pick. That's an easy
He's a
pick for me.
beast.
All right. So speaking of a beast, and this was funny. We always got to put a little bit of comedy in a lot of stuff we do. When I saw this, I had to include this in the in the football. People are wild. People are
Allegedly.
wild, man. I was
Yo,
like,
not
how
not Orenthal James.
this man got an OJ jersey that says allegedly on the back of it. Like, this is amazing. I laughed at this multiple
Yo,
times,
at a
and I don't,
football game, that is bananas.
bruh. If I saw this at a game, I would have to go up to this man and congratulate him for his
I had
creativity,
to get a pick. We're in social media era, bro. You had to get a pick.
bruh.
Oh
You had
yeah.
to get a pick.
Allegedly, dog. The creativity behind that is amazing. I love it.
That's facts.
I
I
love
agree.
it, bruh. So
He
yeah,
had to
shout out to that guy.
he had to get that jersey and put that jersey in and put that on there, and they had to ship that. I wonder
Bro,
what
no, he didn't get that from the NFL shop because I know the NFL shop will not
hey,
allow you to put
Yeah,
allegedly on
hey,
the back of an
no, they
OJ
let
jersey.
you can
he
create
has
your own jersey, bro.
No, they will not. They will not let you put certain words on the back of those jerseys. I got like 5 or 6 of them from the NFL shop, and there's certain things that they won't allow you to put on there. They're
Put
gonna
on
tell you no.
that's an epic jersey, though.
That's amazing though.
He
Shout
going
out to
viral
them.
for sure.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
and if you're in the market for a jersey and NFL shop won't let you have it, shout out to our guy Brandon Denson,
Oh yeah.
Flyconic.
Fly
He can
Conic.
get you right, and he can get you a custom jersey with whatever you want on the back. So holler at us, and we can patch you in, and we can get you hooked up with Brandon because he can get you hooked up with the apparel you need. Flyconic, baby. All right, so we move on to the NBA, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
And this is where we're gonna round things out. The NBA season is getting kicked off. There's a lot to talk about, and we're gonna cover a few things. So we're gonna take a look at where things are kind of right now.
Okay. Them
The
Celtics, babe. Even
Celtics
though
up
they
top.
lost the other night, so they
Okay, it's the
Yeah.
Celtics. Okay. I see.
Celtics up top in the East, in the West, I think, which is surprising. It's still early in the season though.
yeah.
The Timberwolves are up top, and I mean, I think it's surprising to some, but if you really watch basketball and you watch Anthony Edwards,
Yeah, he balled.
special
Special.
kid, And I'm not surprised that they're up top because they have a decent team. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
They'll
Outside
fall
of,
down. They'll fall down 5, 6 somewhere later in the year.
you think
So
so?
yeah, I don't think they're gonna hold that because eventually I think Denver gets better. The Kings, if they get Zach LaVine, they'll be much better. I
Okay.
think the Mavericks will get better. And I think Phoenix, if Bill can, healthy, I think they kind of round out the top five, for me.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. And plus Golden State, they ain't even really caring right
I mean,
now.
Yeah. It's still very early in the season, so there's a lot.
So
Like teams like Memphis, they're gonna take an uptick because when Ja comes
Ja
back,
gets back, right.
that's a different
I
team,
forgot
right?
about that fool.
Right.
Yeah, that's a
Out of
whole
sight,
different.
out of mind.
Yeah, that's a
Right.
whole different team with Ja in the lineup. So
Oh,
Right.
yes.
that's gonna be different. But yeah, it's really early in the season, and of course, you see on here the play-in tournament for a lot of people. They
Right.
might not be familiar with it over the last couple of years. When it gets to the playoff time, they've instituted the play-in tournament, where some of the teams that might not have gotten a chance to make it earlier because they have a cutoff, now they get a chance to play for a spot. So that creates a
Right.
little bit more parity in the league, and puts a little bit more dollar in the NBA pocket. So
NBA, the in-season tournament is supposedly supposed to generate $1 billion.
well, that's a different thing. Let's make sure we caveat that because the play-in tournament and the
Right.
in-season tournament, two
Right. Are
different
two
things,
different
right?
things. Right.
Two different things. So we don't want to we don't want to confuse the two, and we want to make sure the fans understand that that's two different things.
Right.
Again, the NBA is trying to fatten their pockets
Facts.
by creating some other things that might draw more fans and create a little bit more parity in the league. So
Right.
they're creating these tournaments, what I'm saying, throughout the season. So we will talk about in depth, the in-season tournament, as you mentioned,
Right.
because I had some people when I told them we were doing sports today, they were like, "What the heck is that?" So
Okay.
why don't we just talk about it for a second? And I have my trusty information available, so
Right.
we can take a look at it because the in-season tournament is new this year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how it's set up: the group draw results, right? So they draw different groups every season. It began this year on November 3rd, and this is how it's structured. They have West A, B, and C, East A, B, and C. As you can see from the graphic, you have the people who you're going to be playing with in your pod, as they call it.
Right.
So then they play against each other, and then from there, this is how it's structured.
Right.
So you got 30 teams competing, 8 teams advance. One team will be crowned the in-season tournament champion,
And they get
right?
broke off some really good money.
So that's what it's all about, right? It's all about that extra money that these guys can make. So that's they have an in-season tournament, all tournament team, and they have an in-season tournament MVP as well.
Right.
So there are things that these guys are playing for. It's not just just playing a tournament just to be playing it. There's a trophy. There's
And
accolades.
there's a point system.
Yes,
It's
all
sort of
that.
very similar to the
Yes,
soccer in-season tournament.
yes,
So there's a point system in place.
Yeah.
So if you see somebody firing up a 3 and they down 106, 111, just know that point at the end, it matters if it makes it. So like it's a whole point system. Not only the wins and the losses, but it's a point system very similar to like fantasy football.
yep, yep, yep,
I was
yep.
wondering because I was looking at some courts and I was like, why does the court look like this?
Yeah,
Well,
those
I
courts are very awkward.
think
Yeah.
that's just for TV. It's kind of giving you a whole different look because when you're looking at it on TV, it's like, yo, what the heck? But that's kind of the intrigue I'm guessing that they're trying to bring.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's kind of like Bowling Greens. I think it's Bowling Green College with the blue field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where it's kind of off-putting at first because you're not used to seeing that.
Boise State has the blue
It's just
Yeah,
stadium.
Boise State. Yeah,
Like the color is just so like
it's so vibrant, and it's
It's
like,
It's for your TV viewers. I'm sure they're trying to bring in kids who love the color and all that.
yeah, gotta be
You know, the betting and stuff now is part of the NBA.
because I was walking past and he's watching it and I looked up and I was like, who the hell are they? Who's playing?
what kind of court is that?
I'm watching TNT right now, and the Lakers. Even though Boston has the best floor, I ain't gonna lie to you, but that Chicago Bulls floor is
Yeah,
fire though.
it's
But you
weird.
know
It's
I
a lot
love
of
red.
red.
So
They're
It's a
yeah,
different.
lot of red.
it's different.
It's a
It's
lot of red.
different.
It's very, very different. So, okay, so these are the other details too I wanted to share with you all before we move past this point to make sure that we get a clear understanding. Okay, so the in-season tournament, they have the knockout rounds, and then at the conclusion of the tournament, they have most valuable player of
Mhm.
the tournament. They have the all-tournament team, and the selections are based on the player's performance in both group play and knockout rounds. So that's the gist of the in season tournament. So now
Right.
you all can kind of move forward with a little bit of knowledge of how that works and what that's all about. Because I know a lot of people, because it's so new, they're still really confused as to what they're watching
Because
Right.
I
and
mean,
what's
I
what's
just started
going.
learning what you just said at the same time. I think I read something earlier today how it was saying it benefits, it's more money in the pockets for players, more
Right.
blades and stats like that. So I was like, oh, okay. Because at
Yeah,
first I'm like, what's the point of this?
Right.
yeah,
Well, they're trying to bring excitement to regular season games because the early regular season games are really the games that you kind of be like, and the
Most people
players
don't
know
start
it too.
watching lately now
yeah,
until
Right.
you get close to
Because
the playoffs. Yeah.
you're there and you're like, and the players know it too because some of them guys work their way into
Yeah.
shape basketball wise. So it just kind of creates a different little space for you to kind of get in and actually take some of the games serious. And if since it's the in-season tournament, there's money involved, you're less likely to sit out that game unless you're really, really, really injured. But going early into the season, you don't think many players are that injured. So you just give them an incentive to kind of go out there and play. And I'm gonna pay you like $1 million to
Yeah.
on the
yeah,
side to kind of do this. So why not?
yeah. More bread. That means more strippers we can pay, baby.
More scribbles.
You know what I'm saying? More scribbles.
We got more scribbles. We can pay some.
Yeah.
I
Make it
mean, hey,
rain. Make it rain.
All right, so let's move a little bit more into the NBA season. So y'all already know. I mean, this NBA season so far has been about one player and one
Wemby.
player only. We already know who we're talking about. We're talking about Wemby. So every day you can get up and rest assured that ESPN, Fox Sports, any sports network you're watching, at least once or twice during that segment, they're gonna mention Wemby. So
Right.
this picture is kind of off-putting as well because we now know that Kevin Durant is officially listed at 6'11",
Mhm.
and this is him standing next to Wemby. It looks like me standing next to Benji.
Yeah.
So like what like how I mean this is crazy just to look at, but so what do you all think so far about Wemby? Trisha Michelle, have you had a chance to look at Wemby play and see his highlights and things? What do you think so far?
I've watched him a little bit. He can move a lot better than I expected.
Right.
Mm,
I could definitely say that. It definitely, especially what was it before season when they thought he was going to be a fluke for that first game, and then he been out here. Yeah, so I mean, he moves a lot better than I expected for someone his size. Uh,
Right.
facts. That's
so yeah, I
facts.
can say that.
Benji, how about you? I know you checked him out a few times.
Oh
What you
yeah,
think?
definitely. Well, first I want to say his fan base generates about 500 million. It's estimated to about 500 million in the first year for the San Antonio Spurs. So
Mm.
that's big time right there. But I think the most interesting thing is he's pretty fluid. Like
Ve-
he's not
Very
he's
fluid for a
yeah,
7'4".
yeah,
Yeah,
to be that size, he's pretty fluid, and I thought maybe he would give us the well, I didn't think it because I saw Manu Bol. I thought he would have like those problems switching like that, and of course he's still young, so he's going to have to learn his defensive posture. He doesn't, what I'm saying, all he got to do is pretty much kind of bend down a little bit, stretch there,
yeah.
and he can almost contest any shot out there, anybody
It's
and
nice.
it's freakish.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there, I'm watching a clip of Durant trying to block one of his fadeaways, and
Yeah.
Durant is literally like right here,
Fully extended.
jumping, fully extended, and the kid is here, and I'm literally sitting there like nobody's going to be able to block that shot.
No, not one person.
And it's interesting because maybe Chet Holmgren can get it, maybe Porzingis can get it. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see who gets that first block on that fadeaway jumper. And I know guys are going to try, but overall, they're going to suck this year, and they're going to get another high draft pick, and the Spurs are going to be a problem in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, I think the highlight that says it all for me is when he's dribbling down the court full speed, and I forgot who it was, but he throws the ball, he nutmegs a guy dribbling, throws it between his legs, and continues to dribble. A 7'4" dude is dribbling like this. If you watch him before the game and his ball handling drills, 7'4".
Yeah,
Dribbling like this, shooting like this. And let's talk about it just briefly, right? Kevin Garnett got into, these things, and Shaq did as well when they started comparing, Wemby to Bobo. And I've been telling people this for the past couple of years when I first saw Wemby play. And I don't want to hear any other rhetoric talking about, well, Bobo is never going to be Wemby. I never said he was. I said the same thing that Shaq said. You look at those two guys, their height and their skill set. Their skill set, people, the skill set is the same, right? Now, you can question Bobo's, willingness to play, his attitude, his intensity or whatever, but skill set for guys that are 7'2", 7'3", 7'4" are the same. They both can handle the ball. They both can pull up. You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody like Bobo at 7'2", 7'3", and Wemby at 7'4", dribbling down the court and pull up for a three, it's ridiculous, bro.
Different.
It's ridiculous.
Hey, Chet Holmgren is giving us a little bit of that. Kristaps Porzingis a little bit. But
facts.
Yeah, but it's like, man, like this.
I think Wemby just has another level, and I think the difference maker for him is going to be his defense.
Right.
I think once he develops a little bit more of an ability to play a little bit better defense, because his length is something you can't teach. Right.
Right.
I've seen him block multiple people's shots, and he hadn't even jumped. He's just flat-footed. Reaching out and pinning. I seen him pin somebody's shot up against the backboard, and he was flat-footed.
It's going to be interesting. I want to see his body hold up, because he's pretty quick for that height. I want to see how his body holds up under the NBA grind, because he's still a youngin', so he's got to fill out his body. Big dudes are going to try to punk him, so
if
he's going to get pushed around.
Put on weight like Giannis did, oh wow.
Well, yeah. I mean,
they're
it's
saying
very
that
possible.
He has the muscle fiber to do it. One of those guys, those nutritionists and the team doctor for San Antonio was like, listen, this guy can put on the weight. Like he definitely can. He's still really young. He can put on the weight. Like when Giannis came in the league, people were like, he's never gonna put on that weight. Look at him now. He is a monster.
Yeah.
So
you can't, and he's quick. You can't stay in front of him.
Yeah, if he does that, that'll be something special.
If he does that, man, hang it up.
Hey, he's gonna be a problem, man. He's gonna be a problem. And even defensively, he's gonna be able to get. It's gonna be hard shooting over that kid, man.
I mean,
it's gonna be crazy.
Hang it up. With the stuff I've seen him do, bro, hang it up. If he puts on weight, hang it up.
I just want to see how his body holds up to an 82 game season. That's
I agree, and that is, I think the one thing is just his healthiness.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So
but what putting on a little weight helps out with his healthiness. So
yeah, and like we talked about earlier, with sports medicine the way it is now, like they're able to do a lot of preventive, measures for these guys and help, what I'm saying, their careers be elongated, what I'm saying, by doing a lot of preventive medicine and a lot of preventive procedures. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine, man. San Antonio is a good organization with a lot of good front office people and behind the scenes. So I think he'll be fine.
They're gonna take care of him, because that's big time right there. And his fan base can grow even larger. So that's gonna be crazy. So
Speaking of go ahead, Trish Michelle. I'm sorry.
That was just a big move. Spurs got it, so they gotta keep it healthy. They gotta take
Yeah,
care of it.
man,
Go Celtics.
this guy. So speaking of another young star, this is one of my favorites. I got to bring him up, and I got to ask you guys: do you think this guy is the next big star in the NBA?
Oh yeah,
I do.
personality, all
I
nine,
do.
everything. He ain't gonna be able to do it in Minnesota though.
I don't
You
know,
got to get out
man.
of there.
I don't
You got
know,
to get
but
out of there.
I feel like we might be watching something very special with him and Wemby and this crop of kids is coming in. But namely him, dog, he is
He's a monster
everything you want to see in a
in a
ball
play.
player.
Personality,
Period.
a whole nine, everything. Just get him out of Minnesota, get him to Miami or get him to LA or something like that, and then you'll see him take off. But let him go through his growth and his drama in Minnesota and be like KG and later get up out of there. So I wouldn't mind him in Boston after
I
a
wouldn't
while.
say send him to Lakers. What LA you talking about? Because
And of
I
course,
mean, in a
y'all
few
know
years, Braun gonna be retired.
yeah,
y'all,
that's when he should come.
y'all know
Right.
who his daddy. Y'all know who his daddy is. Y'all know who his daddy is.
Somebody calling the Michael Jordan kid.
Yeah, y'all know who his daddy is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy though to watch the footage of him that they have put together. You know these amazing artists on social media that pull together these footage. You know what I'm saying, that match him up, and
Right.
his athleticism, the way he attacks the game, his personality. It's very Jordanish. It is very Jordanish. When Jordan first came out of UNC, the same youthful energy, the bounce, the offensive onslaught, his two-way ability is what a lot of people don't talk about. Anthony Edwards is an amazing defensive player as well. So, then that's saying something in today's league, because not a lot of these guys that are offensively gifted also play defense. And that's why, somebody like Kawhi and Paul George and things like that are a premium type of player, because not a lot of two-way guys. Right. So, but I think he quite possibly might be one of the next big stars, one of the top five guys. Probably in the next 4 or 5 years, we're gonna look back and we're gonna be talking about him as in that top 5 guys in the league.
Right.
I'm willing to bet.
After Tatum and Brown kind of do their thing in Boston.
I think he's gonna leapfrog Brown.
Overshot, he gonna over.
Oh yeah.
I think he's gonna leapfrog Brown.
Yeah. I think he's really.
I think
kind
Tatum
of
is a star. I think Brown is a good player, but he's gonna be, like I tell people, when we talk about stars, there's superstars and then there's stars.
Yeah.
I
Anthony
think
Edwards is going to be a superstar.
I think Anthony Edwards is going to be a superstar. I think Jason Tatum is going to be a superstar. Right. So there's difference. There's not.
AB gives me second tier vibe.
Yeah. So that's not to say that these guys aren't good, but there's a difference in the hierarchy of superstar and star.
The A list and the B list of the elite over in the stars. That's him. He's the B list.
Yeah. And I think with him being able to play in Minnesota now, the positive side to that is he gets the reps, he gets the shine, he gets everything put on him now. So like you said, if he does get traded or if he does decide to go somewhere else in free agency, he had the time where he had to shape and mold and grow, and then he can go somewhere else and actually be the guy for a team.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Where he's at, he's fine where he's at, so he can become that.
Because they got a decent team. Because people don't give Cat the the kudos that he deserves, and they say his play is erratic. But Cat is another one of those guys who's a 7-footer who's special.
He can play ball. Them as a whole unit, they make too many rookie like mistakes.
Well, they're a young team. All in all, they're a very young team. They don't have many vets. And quite honestly, we can have this conversation probably another time. But in the NBA, because of the way it's structured, there's not a lot of vets, right? They run off a lot of the older guys. So
you don't want them in the locker room for some reason. I don't understand that.
You got a bunch of young guys out here.
There's a lot of young talent on these teams right now.
Maybe they can. The NBA can finesse them a little, kind of how they want without all the vet leadership. But now you got podcasts and stuff out there now, so the vets can kind of,
the league ain't happy about that. Let me tell you. The league is not happy about Jeff
That is
Teague
fact.
and Gilbert Arenas and some of these other guys who have
Because
great
they
podcasts
talking
for us because we want to hear that, but it's exposing a lot of locker room talk that
right.
is getting to the public, and I don't think the league's loving that too much. But hey,
I
Yeah.
agree.
it's the nature of the beast. It's what's out here. So we appreciate those guys for being able to deliver that information to us because we enjoy
Facts.
those stories. Yep. So I think Ant's going to be a big superstar, but we gotta, we gotta end the superstar analysis, what I'm saying, with this guy, because this guy is the superstar of all superstars in the league right now, and that's this guy at 38 years old, old goat,
Oh, bro.
old goat
Oh, go
James
James.
is still balling at an exceptional level, and there is nothing more that you can say about this guy. Is he's done it all, he's been through it all, he's persevered, and he is, still playing at a super high level. So it's like, when does it stop? When does this taper off? Or
I
does he just
mean,
have to walk off into the sunset on his own?
a way he takes care of his body, man. I don't know. Every year we think this is it. He gonna decline, and he just spending $1 million, 1.5 on your body. You know what I'm saying? Every year, that's some dedication.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, man. It don't look like he's slowing down at all. But Father Time is undefeated. So
Facts.
them injuries,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying?
All it
Let's
takes is
see.
one.
Yeah, all it takes is one. You know what I mean? So we'll be having this conversation again if he messes up his foot again like he did last year. The
Benji
body
always talking
always
about
comes back
somebody
around.
injuring this.
I told and see,
It
look,
just
This
it's just
guy.
it's part of sports. It's part of sports. My safety
No,
for
we
the
never wish harm.
no, we know we never wish, but we just it's like if I died, you know what I'm saying, tonight, would I want my wife to remarry? You get what I'm saying? It's just
This guy.
I mean, it's just life. You get what I'm saying? My 49er safety just got hurt. Starting safety, Mufunga. It's
Yeah.
part of sports. So it's there. I gotta acknowledge it. Last
Okay.
year, Braun got hurt, and it was his foot. And many people believe
So he said.
they would have beat Denver if he wasn't hurt.
So
So
he said.
I'm just saying.
So he said. I don't
Right.
believe that. I don't believe that.
I believe
I still don't believe it. But hey,
I'm just saying.
it is what it is. I'm
it.
just saying
It's like,
it was convenient. It was one of those things where it was convenient to say after the fact. It's like, yeah, you beat me, but my mama had told me that I had to go in early, and that was in my mind while we was hooping. So that's why I couldn't beat you. Like, don't tell me that afterward. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, if
like,
you
come
you was
on.
hurt, you hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I
but
mean,
like they say, if you suit up and you go out there on the field hurt or not, there ain't no excuse. You
Hey,
lost, you
you
lost.
lost. You lost.
you stepped out on
And
that court, you stepped onto that field, you said you was
facts,
going to play. So
Right.
facts.
I
So
agree.
it is what it is. But yeah, but like I said, a lot of people used to give me flack and say, Ken, you don't like LeBron. I never said I didn't like LeBron ever. I'm a LeBron fan. I've been a LeBron fan since he had the Hummer. I still got the Hummer, the little toy with the little baseball card thing still in my paraphernalia stuff.
Right.
So I've been a LeBron fan since he was in high school, always will be. But where it comes to the comparisons and people say, well, who's your number one and all this other stuff. First of all, I'll stick with what I say all the time is, to me, I can't tell you an overall GOAT, right? Because there's so many different moving parts. It's
Right.
about who you prefer at the end of the day, and different eras have different rules. So you move in the goalpost, and you know what I'm saying, essentially, so you can't, you know, it just like when you are doing a science experiment. If you don't have the constants the same for everybody, when you're doing that science experiment, it's gonna be inconclusive evidence because everything ain't the same. You have to have everything the same in order for that science experiment to actually work,
Right.
right? And this is what it is. Like, you can't compare the 70s, the 80s, the 60s, the
yeah,
2020. You can't compare because the
yeah,
league is different, the rules are different, the medicine is different, everything is different. So we have guys that we like and we have guys that we appreciate. And for me, I've always been a Mike guy. So Mike is my number one guy. So, but LeBron is my number two. right? And a lot of people argue with that too because a lot of people feel like, well, when did LeBron pass Kobe? That's a whole nother conversation,
Conversation for a
right?
whole nother time. Because I'm
So,
telling you,
so,
Yeah.
but for me,
Kareem still sits at that top for me most of the time. So
yeah. So, I mean, me and Benji used to argue about that as well. But the thing of the matter is, it's about preference. And at the end of the day, you can't deny that any of these guys at their time when they were playing at their height, that they weren't the most dominant guys in the league at some point.
right, right.
Right. So, I mean, that's all that matters. And shout out to him, man. I hope that he, can continue to play at a high level for as long as he wants to. Now, Brian was posting what a lot of people been posting and talking about for the past few years of, Braun wanting to play with his son.
Right.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Bronny is. I'm not a hater. I actually prefer Bryce. I actually think
Yeah.
Bryce is a better player than Bronny to me.
Right.
Bryce is a bigger player, you know what I'm saying? And I think with him being 6'6" already, he has more in his bag and
Right.
more abilities. But I think that is it possible for him to play with one of the sons? Who's to
Possibly.
say? Who's to say if he can hang on for the next 2 or 3 years?
I
But as far as
mean,
him playing with
Bronny
Bronny,
ain't coming out in no
Bronny's not
2 years,
being a one
bro.
and done. He's not being
Yeah,
a one and done.
Bronny's a
I don't see it.
4-year college player,
Yeah, I
man.
don't see him being a one
So
and
we're thinking
done.
42,
Yeah.
43.
I think if
Mm.
I'm Braun, I don't do it simply because I think Braun cares about his legacy. I think he really does. And you want to be one of those guys who go out on top. You have a whole bunch of records. Your legacy is cemented. Go away. Don't tarnish yourself like Jordan did.
With a bad year and a
To
yeah.
be honest with you, because Jordan played great when he was with the Wizards. But the narrative is that because
The team stuff.
he wasn't scoring 36, 35, 33 points a game like he was with the Bulls, that he was trash. Well, but
Now, I mean, seeing
talk to
your
me,
boy
talk to me,
playing,
talk to me, talk to me.
seeing your boy play next to you on the same squad, or I mean, the Lakers might just grant him that though. Like, go ahead, let you play. Like I don't know what kind of deal they got going on in the back spaces, but man, I can imagine if LeBron wanted that because of how much money he generates, the Lakers will be like, all right, yeah,
Well,
well,
I'm
if we
I'm
can get it, we can get it.
I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna upset some people, but
Say it now.
well, damn it, if Giannis brother can play in the NBA,
Fact, fact,
Bronny might be able to
fact.
do it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm saying. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
I
I'm just
like that.
saying,
And they
like,
just added the other Antetokounmpo brother on that roster, so we know he's
That's
trash.
crazy.
like
So I'm
Giannis
just
brother,
saying,
I have watched him play a few times. I'm not saying he's bad. The guy's a professional ball player. Like he can hoop, right?
right,
But when you talk about he's a number 15 spot, right? He deserves, if he's going to be on that roster, if he's the number 15 guy, then that's where he belongs.
right,
Because as far as getting playing time, especially in a game that means something, you're not going to ever see two of them on the floor at the same time,
that
because
time, yeah,
Greek is because Giannis is just that much better than the brothers.
right,
Period.
right.
So, but it's crazy that people have been talking about that, and they've been showing that footage of him out there. I'm like,
I mean,
you
and
look
Giannis' brother is pretty
like
trash.
he looked like a low budget Dylan Brooks, and that's saying a lot, bro. Dylan
I
Brooks
mean,
is very struggly at times. He looks very strugglish out there.
yes,
Like
yes,
when
and he's
Steph
talking a
had
lot of
him
trash.
doing the hokey pokey, and he turned himself around, and he had him jumping all over the place, looking crazy.
Z, yes,
I'm
and,
like,
and Steph laughed at him too.
boy,
So
and you say you the villain. You say you the best defensive player in the NBA, but
Like,
you out there looking crazy.
right.
So, but
I mean,
I mean,
hey,
hey, it's all about entertainment
you
these
know they're gonna
days.
pull
So
that card real quick. Let's show it to us.
right.
yeah, yeah.
So I
So
mean, I think if Brown wanted that, it could happen.
I
I'm
of
mean,
just
course,
saying,
of
yeah,
course.
but it's gonna be at what expense, or or whatever. Like you said, can his career and stats, like, do you go out looking great, or are you just gonna be sitting on the Lakers sideline for a little bit, or bench? I mean, while you're waiting for your son to pop in and like
But
what's
my thing
At this
is it
rate,
gonna help? Is it gonna help Bronny?
at this
That's what I
rate,
gotta
he's
look
still
at.
what's
averaging
that do?
28,
Start getting
29.
to
So
say that you did. Like
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it about saying that we did this, or do you really want your son to be out there because he deserves to be out there, right?
yeah.
So I think Braun loves the game enough to want his son to be out there, but he wants his son to be out there because he deserves to be out there.
right,
I want to believe that.
right.
So I
I mean, I
mean,
want to, besides this some legacy story to say. So
yeah, because that narrative isn't worth me sacrificing my son and putting him under the scrutiny.
yeah.
Because listen, if he goes out there and he's not ready or he's not what he needs to be, the
The Sharks
media are
gonna be,
sharks and they're
yeah,
gonna eat him
they're
alive.
gonna eat it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So yeah, so
Expectations gonna be here. And if you ain't hitting there, mm-mm.
I
And
would hate to see
how
that.
many of their sons, basketball players' sons, have actually been really good?
It's
Shout out
quite a
to the
few though.
Griffiths. Shout
Yeah.
out to the Griffiths, who were both really good ball players. But I mean, that's
It's quite a
baseball.
few. Yeah, baseball's a whole different monster. You can play
Right,
Yeah.
forever in baseball, right?
right,
But yeah, no, that's a whole different monster. There's quite a few NBA players that have kids in the NBA now,
Yeah.
but those NBA players are far removed and they're not even close to playing with their kids and stuff like that. So
right.
I mean, that's a whole different deal. But
That could be what overshadows everything. Be the first to like I don't know.
yeah,
People
it's
really get into
but
the narrative of things and
but like I said, at what cost though? At what cost is that gonna be? I don't know, man. I would just let my son play it out. And we also are not even discussing the fact that Bronny had the health issues.
I was just
He's
thinking
been cleared, but it's still there.
yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And you still have to navigate that.
Yeah.
So
So that's
yeah,
that added another level to it, which makes me believe even more that he's gonna be in college at least for a few years before he
that is
Right.
more
gets his NBA shot. So,
yeah.
will LeBron
Unless
still
he
be
makes
there?
a drastic jump. Yeah, he's a 4-year college
People
player.
think health wise he should
And maybe another year because of maybe health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to watch that story develop.
Mhm.
But yeah, so shout out to old Goat James. So we want to close it out with something that some guys sent to me. And I tell you all the time, people, we actually do accept submissions and things that people want us to talk about. We were talking about sports. Somebody submitted
Right.
this. So, we're gonna ask you all this. So put your answers in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And I'll post it on my page as well so we can have a discussion on Facebook. Y'all know how y'all get on Facebook going all crazy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna post my results and I'm gonna leave it alone and let y'all argue and do what y'all do because I'm not participating in that.
Right.
But we gonna put this up. We're gonna let the lady in the house go first, then Benji, then I'll close it out. So we're
watching.
gonna put this out. So rank them from
Oh
best to worst in your opinion,
Mm.
1 through 6. What you got,
listen,
Patricia?
I don't like this.
I already
Come
got my
on.
answer. So if you all want me to go first, I'm very willing to do that. Benji already got his list, I believe.
Yeah,
So
I got my list
Yeah, I
already.
know I'm on the spot. I ain't got no
okay,
list. Hold on.
Go ahead,
Ben,
Ken. Bust yours first.
okay. So I'm gonna go. I already know. I just told y'all Mike and LeBron 1 and 2 for me, hands down. So 3 through 6 is where the questions come in for a lot of people. So my 3 is gonna be Shaq, one of the most dominant players, if not the most dominant big man to ever play the game. 38 and 17 in the 2000 finals is nuts. 38 and 17, right? And that three-peat, that final, the finals, the next 2 years after that, that man averaged 38 and 17 the first year, 33
Right.
and I think 14 the next year, and then that third year three-peat, he averaged 35 and 15.
Mm.
So those are astronomical numbers. And anybody who knows anything about basketball, you knew at one point Shaq was Thanos in the NBA,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Nobody could stop him, period. The only thing that could stop him was the free throw line. And
Right.
as he says all the time, he made them when it counted.
Right.
So at the end of the day, Shaq is my number 3. Steph changed the game. little fella against all odds, can shoot the cover off the ball. He's my number 4. I'm gonna follow him up with number 5, KD. Close it out with Giannis. Can
Mm,
Giannis leapfrog KD? He probably can. He
Yeah.
still has many years to go, I believe. I know Giannis at least has a good 5 or 6 more years left in his prime, like where he's playing at a high level.
right.
So can he leapfrog KD? Yeah, but KD's still building his legacy as well in his 15th year. So KD's still putting up a lot of points in his 15th year. So it's like I said, 3 through 6 is debatable for a lot
Right.
because some people have Steph above Shaq. So, but that's my 6. Mike, Bron, Shaq, Steph, KD, and yep, rounded out with Giannis. So Benji, talk to us. What do you
Bron, MJ, Shaq, taking Giannis, taking Steph, and then KD.
okay. Okay.
That's my
Can't I
six.
can't I can't
I,
argue with that.
um,
All right,
so
Trisha.
I'm definitely going Jordan Brown. That Shaq and that Steph is I just like Steph. Like I ain't gonna lie. He's good at what he does. But Shaq, like you said, beast. I gotta give credit where credit is due and leave Shaq where he's at. Um, that for sure. That Giannis and yeah, Katie, let's go. Yeah, I'm matching you, Ken. I'm not gonna lie. Giannis, he's still going, but I like him. I like what he's doing. He's
Right.
very
Yeah.
very good out there on the court. But yeah, that it's for me. It's really that Shaq and Steph. I could switch them too, but I could leave them too. like
Okay. Okay. So I think that's where we can talk
yeah,
about it real quick.
yeah.
So okay, so you're saying you could switch the two. So what would make you put Steph above Shaq?
I just think that honestly, when you're looking at it, I'm just looking at two different types of ball players, two different positions,
Mhm.
two different. They dominate in two different ways.
Yep.
So it's really like which one,
It's a preference. Yeah.
you know. And I think that's only really it because at the end of the day, they're not like you can't even compare them really realistically on their
Right.
position. So do you take that and it's just which one is your dominant thing or which one are you more into? So I'm more into what Steph really does out there, but
Yeah.
Shaq going Shaq was killing it. So you got to give that man his credit because good.
Shaq was a monster.
I think they
Absolutely.
I think they altered the games, like you said, in different ways, but it's
Yeah.
still weird because Shaq took the high percentage shots, and it's weird because with Steph taking the type of shots that he takes, for him, it's still high percentage.
Yeah.
It's still high percentage because he's one of those guys where when you watch his shooting warm-ups, it's just amazing to see the range that he shoots from with ease.
His range is insane.
It's crazy.
So
like, it's unseen. Like you ain't seen it before. That mess is coming from way past that.
yeah, and shout out to Monte Ellis. A lot of times they show footage of Steph shooting from the tunnel, but Monte Ellis was doing
Marcellus
it
started it first.
Yeah.
before Steph. So shout out to the Mississippi Bullet. You know what I'm saying? Monte Ellis, bucket getter for
Right.
sure.
Like
If you know about
how many of those around exist? Like
Yeah,
and
nah, Steph is an alien. Like
yeah,
the stuff that he does and the way that he's changed the game is outstanding. So I mean, it's definitely about preference, but for me, like Shaq and just his brute strength and the difference maker to me between Shaq and Steph is Shaq's ability to affect the game on the defensive end,
Right.
yeah,
right? He's
And
not
that's
only
one
gonna
thing.
score,
That's one thing Steph can't necessarily
yeah.
do. Right.
So
Block
that's
shots.
the
So
difference
that's
to
why I
me.
give Shaq because Shaq
that's,
could affect the game in so many ways, and
Yeah.
Steph, of course. But if getting the rebound, getting me
yeah.
the block,
When you put
uh,
that
putting up the
perspective
points.
to yes,
Right.
yes,
That's why I got Shaq at my 3. So
yeah.
So when I see somebody post this, like, okay, Brian, shout out to I got Brian for hanging in there with us the whole show. He posted Jordan, LeBron, O'Neal, Shaq, Curry, Giannis. He got Giannis ahead of KD, which
Oh,
again
yeah, I got
is doable because the simple fact of if you look at Giannis and his defensive ability, you could argue that his
right.
defensive ability is the tick that puts him over KD.
Right.
But for me, like I said, I'm just looking at the body of work and the accolades and the accomplishments as well, just not pure skill set. Um, I can't put Giannis over KD right now.
Right.
At the end of their careers, that's gonna be
Maybe so.
something to look forward to.
The only
Yeah.
reason why I have KD as last on my list, the only reason why is because honestly, I think KD should probably be the league leader in scoring every year. I think he should be like his three ball is efficient as Steph. His 2 point game is as efficient as Steph. I just think, he just kind of coasts because he's just so good. He reminds me of Randy Moss on the floor. Like,
That's a good analysis. I
Randy
like that.
Moss
It's a
was
good
a
comparison.
beast, but it just seems like he was
Too
coasting
easy.
every
Yeah.
time. It's
He
too
does
easy.
seem like he just coasts. That
Yeah.
is
Right.
good. That
That's
that's
good. I like that.
that's
I,
real.
I I literally that's what I think of.
That's a
Like,
real not like really that's what you see when you see
Yeah.
like that's what's
right,
happening. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the bad part when you got a guy that's that good at something that he makes it look too easy, so
too
the
easy.
people don't, you know what I'm saying, take into consideration how special it is what he
Right.
does, because he makes it look like he just chilling and he just making it
Effortless.
happen.
Yeah.
And
Because KD at this point, at any point in his career, really could shoot over anybody. Like you
bruh,
wasn't really getting his shot. The fadeaway, the turnaround was vicious. The
Yeah.
three ball is efficient.
and
Like,
let's not talk about something that's not talked about enough with KD is his handles.
yeah,
At 7 foot,
yeah,
the way he handles the ball is ridiculous.
Yeah.
facts.
Right, and he can handle, pull up off the dribble. He can do everything. Get to the cup,
Everything.
Yeah.
finish.
He's
Free
fluid.
Um,
throws efficient.
Now one thing that is slept on, look at his footage, is he does play defense.
He
A lot
does
of
play
people don't talk
defense.
about it. He
Yeah.
does play defense, but I think because it's not on a level
Yeah.
of a Giannis where you see him blocking a lot of shots and, you know what I'm saying, being really aggressive on the defensive
Mhm.
end, again, because his game is so smooth, a lot of the stuff that he does, not people are not going to,
He's smooth with it. So people just
It's
yeah.
just too smooth.
like they don't
It's
feel
So
like
so smooth. It's like Randy Moss running that go route and just eating up everybody, and it just seemed like he just jogging.
yeah.
yeah, so Brian
Like
Brian
the breath is smooth.
Yeah,
Brian Ellison is killing me with these comments, man. This guy said KD is a ball hog to
Wow.
he
him.
better. He's earned the right to be a ball hog. That boy shoot 50-some% from the field,
But
40-something from three.
I think because he's so efficient, like I
Yeah.
Right.
wouldn't say it's a ball hog. And on top of that, with him being on a team with the likes
Yeah.
of somebody like Devin Booker, he can't be a ball hog because he doesn't have enough touches to actually be a real ball hog.
He
Yeah.
actually
Because
doesn't shoot 20 plus shots a game. He
yeah, because
usually
Devin
he
Booker's
shoots
taking
about, yeah.
Devin Booker's actually probably going to take more shots than KD in the
Yeah.
average game.
KD is
So
very efficient. He's
yeah,
just as efficient as the big man in the post,
yeah.
pulling
So
up mid range. Like, it's
he
crazy. He don't need 50 shots to get 100. Like,
he
Because the ones he's taking, he's making. He's
he
like
right.
his
he,
percentage is up there.
he earned
Right.
that name, the Slim Reaper. It's very
Yeah.
fitting. It's very fitting
Facts.
because when you see that guy coming, it's your work's cut out for you to stop him
Facts.
from scoring. And and when we're talking about scoring, I'll be remiss to not mention this honorable mention this guy, one of my favorite scorers of the more recent times is Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, yeah. Melo. Yeah.
Look at his footage. I looked at some of his footage. Somebody sent me something early today,
Bully
and I hadn't
ball.
looked at mellow footage in a while. But
Yeah.
my God,
Yeah. The
that
boy's
guy
a beast.
scores in so many different ways from so many different spots on the court. And like you said, bully ball. Like I was just like I forgot how freaking good he was, bro.
Nuh-uh, I remember because them Kobe days, the only thing standing between him and championship, to be honest, was them Laker, Kobe, Shaq teams. Because
Oh yeah.
he when them Nuggets days, he went at it, him and Kobe, and those were some 50-point games, 40-point games. Like there was some tough matchups.
Well, when you have guys like Kobe saying, yeah, the footage that I watched was a excerpt of Kobe in there saying Carmelo Anthony was the hardest person he had to guard. Like
Yeah,
when you have guys like that saying he is the hardest person I had to guard, that's a huge compliment
Right.
yeah,
for a guy who's a defensive player to say, man, Carmelo Anthony was difficult to cover.
yeah.
So
Facts.
that's big time, man. So shout out to Melo, and Melo's son might have a chance to make it too. These the second generations of these NBA guys is, they looking real good out here. So it's a very good
Fact.
chance that we could see, the second iteration of Bron and Melo in the league again someday. So, shout out to those young fellas, and to keep balling and keep working hard, man. And you'll get there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's meant for you, they'll make it, man.
You're gonna have your time if it's
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So yeah, I think we've covered a lot of things tonight. We gave
Yes.
y'all a lot of information. We had good conversation. We love
Facts.
sports, y'all. Y'all know we talk about a lot of different things. We give you a lot of information, but every now and again we gotta throw some sports in there because we are sports
Facts.
lovers. So we
Facts.
appreciate y'all hanging in. The guy Brian, we got to give a big shout out to Brian Ellison.
He's
Always
the
pulling up
whole
on
He
them.
show.
was here from the beginning, and he is still in the comments, lighting it up.
I rock with that.
We appreciate it. And this is not the first time Brian has tapped in. Brian taps in just about every week. We appreciate it. My guy, don't get it twisted. We want to give you big love because we
Absolutely.
love for people to get in the comments and give us something to feed off of, bruh. Because
Yeah.
your comments today have definitely been
Hey,
controversial, to say the
whether
least.
whether we for it or against it, we approve or disapprove.
We
We gonna
appreciate it,
put it up
man.
there. And we're gonna talk about it. And we're gonna get into discussions about it. And we
Right.
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that you rocked with us and even shared what you felt. So
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So we appreciate everybody who tuned in and who has some input. If we said something that sparked your conversation that you can take with you the rest of the weekend, especially while you sitting around with your family members and eating, talk about some of this stuff, man. Say, man, I was watching this show, the Fire Session, and this is what I heard. Let's talk
Right.
about this because that's what we all about. Like we want to create the situation where you could take some of this information and go back to your people and have some discussions about whatever we talk about on the show
yeah,
Facts.
because we want to make sure that we educate you and entertain you
Facts.
at the same time. That's what we
absolutely.
do. We put the medicine in the candy.
You know,
Facts. Love it.
So with that being said, we got to make sure that we close it out the right way as we always do. Trisha Michelle, leave the people with something and let them know where to follow you on social media.
oh well, guys, was a sports episode, so I ain't gonna hit you with nothing for your life. I'm just gonna say stay tuned for the rest of these football weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's gonna
That
get
speaks for itself. Her shirt
It's gonna
speaks
be
for
interesting.
itself.
it's gonna get spicy in Dallas, and it's gonna get spicy up there up
I'm
north.
looking forward to the 49er game, the Eagles and 49ers. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
I'm looking forward to that.
So yeah, just stay tuned. Watch football. Yeah, and if
Watch
if you missed most of the season, you can tune in now. It's cool. Just watch my team. But you don't know where to find me on Instagram right there, Trisha Michelle _YT on YouTube, Trisha Michelle. I am in the works of revamping, like we kind of mentioned last week. I'm doing a couple of things, getting it all situated. So we're back on my YouTube. We start pushing back out content too. So you gotta go on there, follow, like, subscribe, and do all that, and get in there now, catch up, so you can be, riding away with me. And
I
then on
did. I got caught up.
I'm on TikTok, Trisha Michelle, and that Fire Session always every Tuesday.
Facts.
Solid.
Yeah. Y'all go check out the page because if Trisha Michelle, we shout out to her. She's been with us a little over a year now, on the show, and I hadn't had a chance to go back and check out her catalog of her show. So one day I was thinking about it and I saw it, and I just started sitting here doing the day at work when I'm watching all these other podcasts. I just put her stuff on playlist and just went through and started watching all the episodes. Very entertaining. I'm glad that she has joined us and stuck in here with us
Facts.
because we
Facts.
we be tripping a little bit, but Benji really be tripping, and I'm glad that that she's hung in here with us. So shout out to her. We appreciate your presence every time, and she's a jewel. So you all make sure you go and follow her and support her as well. And yeah, y'all keep coming here, and she'll be here with us as well.
Hey, it's the
So
Fire
Yeah.
Session
Sure.
family.
Solid.
You know,
Facts.
I'm locked in. I like to
Facts.
hear, even fooling with Benji.
I mean, hey, you can't help it.
It's a great segue. Benji Banks, the man, the brand. Talk to the people, man. Let them know something before we get up out of here.
Go Celtics, go 49ers. Yeah, we hoping for, great things, you know what I'm saying, as the year closes out. Shout out to my fantasy team. If you play fantasy football, Justin Jefferson, just a memo. Yeah, I sent you a DM. Get back out there on the field. I need you for this fantasy football push, brother. I need you in my lineup, okay? But yeah, man, we got some great games coming up. Hope y'all enjoy y'all's Thanksgiving this coming up, man. So looking forward to that. Y'all know where to find me. You can't miss me. I'm noticeable. Y'all have a solid one though.
Yeah, hey, you know
Inbox.
what? Facts. Shout out to Benji and Trish Michelle, man. Love those guys, man. And I don't have, what I'm saying, nothing poignant to say. I just gonna say this, man. As you go into the Thanksgiving holiday, just be thankful for the time that you get to spend with your family, and just make sure that your eyes are not as big as your back. You know what I'm saying? Leave those plates. Leave those plates. Get those plates a little bit of breathing room, man.
Plates a
You
little
know what
bit
I'm
of
saying?
breathing room.
Hey, man, because I'm telling you, that food that you consume is going to play tricks on you later on after you eat it. So you want to be alert and up when the Cowboys, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and put the smack down on the Commanders on Thanksgiving Day, because we know everybody will be tuned in. So shout out to y'all. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in here every time we go live. And you can also catch us on all social media platforms. Just type in FIYAH session and we'll pop right up. Make sure you go to YouTube, like and subscribe. Make sure you go to my pages. Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. I also share a lot of comedy, a lot of real life questions, and also fire session content. You know what I'm saying? So we always make sure that we put some medicine in the candy. We're gonna give you something that's gonna, educate you, but we want to give you some entertainment as well.
Right.
So we want to continue to feed the masses something that, uplifts the people, not, not the drama. So if you're looking for drama, you tuned into the wrong spot.
Right.
Right. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Be safe. Don't go too hard, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to, make sure you drink a little bit more water and do a few push-ups and sit-ups the Thursday morning, so you can get a little jump start.
You get a little extra. You eat a little extra then after that.
Yeah. Hey, she said that, not me.
I'm just saying, do what you want to do. If you
Blame her.
You want to go crazy and not be able to move off that couch, do you? Just know you might pay for it with the jeans you can't fit. That's cool.
Right.
Hey, it is what it is. But y'all already know how we do it, man. It's the fire session. We love y'all. Be safe. Peace.
Deuces.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fire Session.